All right, Thoroughbreds, welcome back to another episode of Penalty Broncos. We are the number one Broncos podcast that we listen to. This is the NRL review preview show. I'm coming to you from the Bandwagon Bar. We've got our forward pack online. Langers, mate, how has your week been?
Yeah, good, mate. I was back in the promised land, as it's also known as Collinsville. Again, I just can't leave that place. It just follows me everywhere, that place. But so back in Collinsville, the land of opportunity, as some would maybe say. But no, it was good, mate. Good week, good weekend. I actually hurt my back, so I was doing absolutely nothing on the weekend. So it was good to just lay around like a beached whale and just do nothing really. So no, it was good, mate. But back's slowly coming good. But no, apart from that, mate, no dramas or quarrels or anything like that. So that's always good. But yeah, what about you, Ringer? How was your week, mate?
Good boys. Went up to Mount Isa, which is always a fun-filled trip. In the land of the Northwest. So got home. Same thing. Been doing a bit of machinery work. So I've been in the loader, bouncing up and down, clearing boundaries and creating roads and doing all that sort of stupid shit. And yeah, just frothing the top four Broncos. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to glaze the lads, no doubt, over the next probably 2 hours, Thoroughbreds. But, Bretto, how did you see it, mate? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, mate, yeah. What a way to start the weekend as a Thursday with a win the way that it was. But no, it was a bit hot here, actually. And, of course, we decided to pull my finger out and get some of the work done around the house that I've been putting off for about 8 months. So got rid of an old fence and whatnot. Should have done what the neighbours did. I checked out the back after we were all said and done, and the neighbours have just thrown their old fence out the back over the other side of the fire reel. So nice little timber dunnage there ready to light up whenever a bushfire comes through. But but no, other than that, not much. We had the kids soccer presentation on today for the juniors and whatnot. So got around that before racing home to get ready for this. But other than that, not much exciting going on. Just busy work, as they say. I'll be down in Brizzy in a couple of weeks, so it's going to be interesting to see if we can line up a home game, if that's the potential with what's on the cards, or will I miss it and we'll just glide on in through to a prelim, which will be even better. Shout out to the listeners while we're all engaged and getting off and getting cozy. Hit that like button, hit the subscribes button, all that sort of good stuff for us. That would help us out immensely. Any businesses that want to shout out as well, make sure you get in contact with us. We're really trying to amp some stuff up for next year and get us off on a good footing. And as Ringer mentioned before, Glaze mode is activated. So if you listen to this podcast because you don't mind the way that we, review the game, and you tolerate us because every now and then we lose, and then you see that in our eyes, you might as well just turn it off now. I know it's not good for our readings and everything like that, but this is going to be some diabolical shit as we run through. It is round 27. We have snuck into the top four. Reece Walsh is firing. Ben Hunt's doing Ben Hunt things. Yeah, it's gonna be a Krispy Kreme episode, I guess you could call it, with the amount of glaze that's going to get thrown around. So, without further ado, I'll get into the lead-up stats here. We took on the Storm for round 27 of the Telstra NRL Premiership, up there in Suncorp Stadium, the home ground of the Broncos at Red Hill there. 44,645 were in attendance. And although I did see some Storm colours, it was a bad day to be a Storm supporter in that sea of maroon and gold there. You love to see it. The place was heaving by the looks of it through the TV. Storm had nothing to play for. Except for a winning record in the regular season against us, obviously. They'd already locked up second place. They were reeling from that thumping that the Roosters handed to them the week
Mm.
before. So I did expect them to come out with a fair bit of venom in that regard. But first half, we go into the Sheds with a 12-4 lead, which was amazing. I was like, we're in here, we're on, sort of thing. Boys are on. Second half finishes with 18-10. We take the second half win as well for a full-time 30-14 win. Locking up that top four, as was mentioned, which was great to see. We didn't have to wait and see how the Warriors went, how the Sharkies went. Thank God too, because the Sharkies were on one. That they were playing like they could still do some damage there. Possession, funny enough, we lose 48% to 52 by way of the Storm. Completion rate, though, this is where I'll start to throw my Glaze around. 90%, 36 out of 40 after 80 minutes of football up against the Storm. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
71% for the Storm. Well below par of what they would expect. 28 out of 39 sets they've done. Average set meters 35.33 up against 39.12 to the Storm. What was crazy, I think at the half time we didn't crack 30 meters averaging before half time. The Storm did a really good job at holding us down. And I'll get to another stat in just a sec. Tackle efficiency 89.12% versus 88.14. We made 336, they made 327. We missed 25, they missed 26. We had 16 ineffective, they had 18. Really tight when it comes to that sort of stuff. Errors 4-14. Love to fucking see that. I'll throw a bit of Glaze about again. 4 errors. A Broncos team making 4 errors in a game is almost unheard of, and an absolute shot across the bow for the rest of the competition of those that are going to have to potentially come up against us. Penalty count. Can't fucking win a penalty count again. Still, to save ourselves. 11-10. They nip us there by 1. Ruck infringements was 1-5. On report, 0-1, and that was Big Nelson, who we now know is charged. Sin bin 1 apiece. Now, kick defusal 57% to 50%. So both of us are pretty horrendous at our kick defusals. Obviously, both of us smacking a couple of 40-20s here and there. Loads 9-10. I'm pretty sure the stats show that Haas scored 6 of ours. Now, play the pool. We're at 4 seconds. So that is just how much the Storm were laying around in the ruck. And the fact that they never got someone sent to the bin for that infringement is, well, it sort of makes Paddy's argument when Dean went to the bin even more right. Yeah. They had a 3.4 second play the ball, which is pretty standard. So we were not lying in the ruck nearly as much. We got pinged for it. So we're obviously going to back off that tactic, but a little bit frustrating. It was good to see that it didn't get to the boys as the game gone on. They were getting held down and getting frustrated. They just played the game. A lot of four-play footy in this for the start of this game. Interchange, both teams went 7 out of 8. However, after we were just reading the run sheet there, guys, it came obvious that we'd had about 2 free interchanges thanks to HIAs. So you could potentially say we used 9 out of 8 with that one. So, without further ado, let's kick into this bad boy. Langers, take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, let's absolutely get into it because this is a good one. Like, coming up against the Storm, the history that the Broncos does have against the Storm, like, let's be real, it's not great. It's not great, is it?
Nope.
It's, I think I saw on there that Cameron Munster has never lost at Suncorp playing the Broncos before Thursday night. Like,
wow.
It's like, and Munster, he's been around for a while, so, it's Hughes coming back, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was looking like it might have been a bit how you going, but ladies and gentlemen, let's go. So yes, first half, Broncos kick off. Then we go into the 3rd minute, penalty to the Storm for a leg lift by Jordan Ricky. Yeah, he sort of third man in, he just sort of decided to lift that leg and just sort of swing him around there for a little bit cheeky. We'll knock
Pretty
it up to
Ricky.
cheeky. Pretty Ricky. Not Witty Ricky.
Not Witty Ricky, Pretty Ricky.
Yeah, so that obviously made the first attacking set for the Storm. Storm number 13, Trent Liero drops the ball coming into contact on the fourth. And I just got a comment there, good D from the Broncos. Now, that's going to be a recurring little note for my notes because, yeah, what fucking defense the Broncos put up on Thursday night. But let's keep going. So, into the 5th minute, penalty of the Broncos for Storm player number 10, Josh King, being inside the 10 metres. And that gives Broncos their first attacking set for the night. Set ends with a kick by Walsh, and Cameron Munster gets tackled in goal for a dropout. Short dropout from the Storm. You love to see it if you love a short dropout, and I love to see a short dropout that fails because it just proves my point week after week after week. But anyway, we'll keep going. So from the 5th minute into the 8th minute, we see a penalty to the Broncos for a high shot on Brendan Piakura inside the Storm 10's metre line. Broncos opt to take the 2. Kick converted, 2-0. That 2 points comes off a failed short dropout, doesn't it? Points for the opposition because you decided to do a short dropout. Get that shit out of your game. But anyway, we'll move on. Into the 11th minute, penalty to the Storm for a high shot on Storm number 1, Ryan Pappenhausen by Jesse Arthurs. Look, I said it in previous episode. If your player's going to be falling into the tackle, there's not much that you can do, you know? Like Ryan, he's not the biggest of players. And a couple of times, he ends up going off for a HIA at the end of the game because he falls into a tackle and just gets smoked by Karapani's shoulder. But it's like, well, you know, it's I don't know. Like, what are you going to do there? It's too much of a grey area for me, I think, that, you know, basically if that's the way that it's going to roll, then you might as well just teach all of your players to just duck their head or fall into the tackle. Someone will inevitably collect them around the mush, hope that you don't get collected bad enough to go for a HIA and you get a penalty straight up. So, I don't know. I think that sort of needs to be maybe a little bit looked at in the off-season. Maybe rules need to be tweaked a little bit there. But anyway, penalty to the Storm in the 11th minute. Then in the 12th minute, we see another penalty to the Storm for obstructing the kick chaser by Katoni Staggs on the Broncos 10-metre line. Now, lads, how Katoni didn't get sent in for this is beyond me because that was blatant. Like, if
It was so bad.
If roles are reversed and, you know, Xavier Coates did that to Katoni, you would be absolutely fuming, screaming for that man to get sin bin. So, yeah, I think Staggs got away with murder.
The only thing that
to be
saved
honest.
him, the only thing that saved him was it was the first kick of the game.
Yeah.
If it was the second
That-
offence, it was
yeah,
all
not
over.
much else for saving him. Holy shit. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how we didn't get sin bin for that one. But anyway, so yeah, another attacking opportunity for the Storm. Opportunity ends with amazing defence from Josiah Karapani to drive Storm number 2, Will Warbrick, over the in-goal for a Broncos 20-metre tap. And I think at that point, you sort of saw what the Broncos were sort of doing, you know, like muscled Will Warbrick, who is no small feat to muscle that man anywhere. You know, as soon as Karapani did that, everybody's up. She's all hugs. It's all, you know, like they were just clicking as a team. It was good to see. Like, it was just really, really good to see. Then in the 14th minute, even better to see, we see a try to Reece Walsh. Now, look, it wasn't the cleanest of tries that we've ever seen, but yeah,
Perfect.
so offload from Haas gets the ball. He breaks the line, obviously. Passes to Walsh as he's like falling over. Not the best pass. Walsh knees it forward and then little tussle with Pappy trying to get the ball, shrugs him off and scores the first try of the night. Kick not converted, 6-0. Lads, what were your thoughts when you saw Reece go over? Ringer, I'll start with you, mate.
Oh, elation, obviously, but when you've seen it live, you thought, surely he's touched this, it's going to be a knock-on. And then we go back to watch it, and yeah, he didn't. But people are going to say it's lucky, right? But well, I'm just going to go back because this is the Glaze episode. Like this is you know, running all over the boys, the Glaze. So what I'm going to stick to is that the intent was an offload to Reece, which would have scored Nelly untouched. And, you know, it was lucky. And then there was people saying, oh, he shouldn't have got it because he pushed Pappenhausen out of the way. Pappenhausen was the first one to instigate the contact. So the shove to say, fuck off, was warranted, and I was very happy with. We don't usually get these calls as Broncos. We've seen a lot of times this year that 50-50 calls, we usually get the wrong side of the 50, but it was a good call. Like Pappy, was doing the first contact and dragging him back, and Reece shrugged him and went fuck off, and then jumped on the ball. So it's like, that's rugby league, mate. You play silly games, you win silly prizes. So I was so happy, mate. And of course, it was the defense that led up to it, and that's going to be a theme that we're going to obviously get to during this potty. But so happy to get first points on Melbourne.
Yeah, definitely. Brito, how did you see it, mate?
Yeah, look, at the start when we went for the 2 points, I was pretty happy with that. I was like, we take the points when we can, because I don't think this is going to be a high scoring. And it was that four-play footy that we like to talk about. Like
Yes.
we were doing everything right. We were doing the defense right. Easy. We're only on first base. First base in a couple of minutes, mate. We're all good. But yeah, like we're doing everything right with the defense. We're doing everything right with our calls, getting to our fifth tackle options. We're getting through our sets. We're perfect at this point, which was good. And then the Storm made a few uncharacteristic errors. They made a few penalties there. We capitalized. But we didn't. Reece didn't race out and automatically try to make something happen. It was like Ben
Yes.
Hunt was like, no, let's get into this position. Then when we were into the position, we're like, hey, Payne, let's run that set play that we've practiced at training over and over again. You crash through the line, I'll be on your hip, toss it up. I agree with Ringer. If he doesn't knock that, like if Payne gets a nice clean offload, Reece goes over untouched. I was the same as everyone. I'm sure all the Thoroughbreds were the same. As soon as you watch the replay, you're like, fuck, he's knocked this on, surely.
Yeah.
And then slow motion, like, actually, he didn't get anywhere near that. That's fine, play on. And then you go through the contact and you see Puppy reach out, try and drag him back a little bit. And from there on, as far as I'm concerned, it's fair play. Like, nudge out, get out of the way, score the try sort of thing. So, yeah, no, I 100% was up and about for this. And like, going into all these games as a Broncos supporter, you're like, fuck, I think we can do it. Like if we show up, if the boys play the way that we know they can play, we can do this sort of thing. And then you do something like this, like a try like this happens, and you're up and about in the living room, or you're at Suncorp and you're out of your seat, and you just like, you can feel that energy. And Suncorp was heaving when that try happened. That was so loud when you could hear the bunker talking their way through it. As soon as they said Puppy initiates contact, the crowd just like, this is try time sort of thing. So, no, it was great. It was good to see. Reece was on one. So,
yeah, yes, indeed. So, yes, Thoroughbreds, after the 14th minute, it is 6-0 to the Broncos. Then into the 16th minute, penalty to the Broncos for Storm number 12, Ali Katoa, holding down Brendan Piakura for too long. That just sort of helps the Broncos get out of their end. And I've got a little stat here. 16th minute, there's been 6 penalties for the game already. So the ref just getting real acquainted with that whistle early on, and it didn't stop. But anyway, we'll keep going. So then in the 19th minute, the Storm do their first interchange. Then in the 20th minute, penalty to the Storm for hands on the ball from Paddy Carrigan. And I've got pressure relieving for the Storm there because, Broncos were just fucking all over them at this point. Like, it was so good to see. Like, obviously the build-up, Storm have never lost 2 in a row for the last 3 years. Like I said before, Munster never lost at Suncorp. Jerome Hughes back, arguably one of the best players in the game. So, it was all... Yeah, exactly right. So, all favoritism, all sort of roads were leading towards the Storm. And then, these first 20 minutes, it's all Broncos. And, obviously we are all about it. So, absolutely love it. From that, Storm number 4, Nick Meaney, drops the ball on the 4th tackle for a Broncos scrum feed on their 10-metre line. Then in the 23rd minute, the Broncos do their first interchange of the night. Kobe Hetherington comes on for Corey Jensen, who goes off. Then in the 24th minute, we see a penalty to the Storm for late contact on Storm number 6, Cameron Munster, by Payne Haas. Unusual by Haas, but I mean, that slow-mo ruins it, eh? Like, you do that normal time, he was a quarter of a second late, you know,
Yeah.
and no malice in it. He just wanted to get the ball, the big fella, and yeah, just that slow mo made him look like he was about
Yeah.
5 seconds late. So it was a little bit rough there. Attacking opportunity for the Storm. Storm number 7, Jerome Hughes, comes from the field clutching his wrist. Now that is massive because that boy
Huge.
broke his wrist. Is that correct? That's what I'm hearing. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, so they thought it was wrist, but now they think it's like a little bit higher. So it's still like a forearm, but it's closer to the wrist sort of thing. And you can see when Piakora runs at him, you can see where his
Knee.
shin hits
shin,
the arm. So that'll be where it's broken. And like that's huge
Yeah,
for this game and for the finals as well.
yeah,
For the
yeah. And he
competition.
tried to play through it too. So
Yeah.
he came off from the field after he just threw a routine pass, and obviously
Yeah,
just the shock of the
collapsed.
ball, leaving his hands straight through down to the break. Like, yeah, you just knew as soon as he was coming from the field, holding it hard, grimacing. Yeah, it was massive for us as Broncos fans. But broken wrist. His
Payback.
season is his season is done. But a bit, you feel a little bit sorry for Jerome because he is a good player, and he's nothing like Luai. Share the first name. That's about it. Everybody likes this Jerome. Everybody hates the other one. So he's done his shoulder. He's an amazing player. Dally M last year, like what Ringer said, and then come back first game, 24 minutes in, and then he breaks his wrist, forearm, whatever. Like, yeah, you got to feel for the lad, but he's not the Broncos, so fuck him. We'll move on. Obviously into that, the Storm have to make their second interchange with Hughes going off. Then in the 24th minute, we see a try to Storm number 12, Ali Katoa, after a failed catch by Storm number 2, Will Warbrick. Ball goes backwards, and Katoa just sort of jumps on it for Storm's first points of the game. Kick not converted, 6-4 still to the Broncos. Lads, how do you see Storm's first try of the night? Britta, I'll start with you, mate.
Yeah, I was getting frustrated with us. It seemed like we had no intention on competing for the ball. We were just in full obstruct mode. Like, let's just get in there and make it difficult. Like we knew, or give away the penalty is what I'm like. Let's just not even try and bother. Let's just give away the penalty, and then that'll that'll help us to like ease up the point sort of thing. Because at this point of the season, I mean, a little bit different with Jerome gone. When he's back, they can score points here and there, but without him, the only way they're scoring points is through Coates and Katoa. And so the aerial ball is going to be the threat. I was getting really, and I thought it was going to lead to more points than what it did, than what we stopped. So I was pretty frustrated with this. And there's another one as well. I think it was Billy Walters tried to do something. But anyway, that's just where I'm at with this one. It was frustrating to see. I thought we did really well. It was one of those things where it was like a bee's dick away from being a knock on, but they got away with it and in Storm fashion. So,
What about you, Ringer? How do you see that try, mate?
Yeah, mate. Ball's been in play for 10 minutes, pretty much straight since we scored our try. We got penalised, giving Storm field position all the way up again. And there's a lot of disruptions with, it's funny how even though Hughes went off and there was like all this disruptions, teams often get distracted by this, and there's always a try that follows it somehow. The only thing I'm like happy about though is that they were not going through the front door. Like our defense, for the whole 2/3 of the field, from the 20 lines in, was so good. We were doing such a good job of containing the Storm, and like you said, it was a bee's dick from being a knock on. And I'm with Brito here. If we're not going to be able to shut down like these big jumping wingers, because we're going to run into them again more than likely, be it Nwana Nituase, Daniel Tupou, Ronaldo Mulatalo, someone like that we could run into going in the finals. I don't understand why the winger who's on that side doesn't just jump up with one hand and swat the fucking ball. Like, hit that shit somewhere. Like, you know, you get that extra bit of height. You know, you're not in trying to, you know, catch it. Just swat the fucking thing. Like, hit it somewhere. Who gives a shit? Because if our defense is that good that they have to kick to score a try, then like you're winning the battle, aren't you? So, I just wish someone would do that, because even when you watch teams that play Lomax, whatever, you wonder why does the winger sit there and like a sitting duck trying to catch a ball when some of the best wingers are coming over the top of them? Just jump up and swat at the cunt, like, and just see what happens. But anyway, obviously, what do I fucking know? I can't jump off the floor, let alone bloody do any of that. But but yeah, glad they're scoring off a kick for a start, and it was a pretty lucky bounce that got them that try anyway. So, you know, it is still panic stations because it is the Storm, and you know, once they get points, they can continue on. But yeah, glad it's out wide. That's for true.
Yep. Yes, Thoroughbred. So after the 24th minute, it is 6-4 still to the Broncos. Then in the 26th minute, the Broncos do their second interchange of the night. Ben Talty, our boy, he comes on for also our boy Payne Haas, who goes off. In the 27th minute, the Storm do their third interchange of the night. Then in the 28th minute, superb tackle from Reece Walsh on Storm number 5, Xavier Coates, driving him over the sideline. What a tackle from Reece. That was, mate. When he did that, he gets up, the tongue's out, the staunch is on. Bro, I'm all here for it. Those people, like the fans and like the people that are at the ground on that area, man, they would have just lost their shit at that. It was so fucking good. But then the Storm have to go and ruin it, and they do a captain's challenge like the fucking cowards that they are. But not even for that. It's for a knock-on for by Brisbane for the play before, Paddy Carrigan doing a little...
The ref was equally as confused, because he's like, I don't know why he's challenging. Advantage is being played.
Yeah,
like you're gonna be out anyway. I don't.
Yeah, exactly right. Like it was. Yeah, I think Melbourne were lucky just for the thing to come up inconclusive, so they retained their challenge. To be totally fair,
my honest opinion in the moment was it was a breather. The Storm needed, because Hughes had come off. They'd scored the try, yes, but like at that point we were sort of all over them, and they just needed to like calm everything down, throw a captain's challenge out there. It'll be inconclusive regardless or whatever. Nothing will happen out of it. We'll retain our challenge and we'll move on. That was my only explanation to myself at the time.
It's a fucking wild decision when you're 30 meters downfield.
Yeah, it was. And it sort of, definitely took the shine off like a tackle like that from Reece, because, I was all up and about at the pub when I saw that. And then, hold on, we're going to do a captain's challenge. And you're just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, fucking stop doing that, you know? So, the replay comes up inconclusive. So Melbourne do retain their challenge, but, Broncos get the ball. Then, unfortunately, Reece Walsh, he drops the ball on the third tackle, giving the Storm another chance at a try. But then the Storm number 12, Ali Katoa, he drops the ball in the Broncos' goal after a little chip from Munster on the fourth for a Broncos 20-metre tap.
That's the one.
Nearly got that one. That was, like he got to the ball first, and all he had to do was plan it down. But fortunately for us, he dropped it, and then it just spilled over the deadline. So, Broncos 20-metre tap. Then in the 33rd minute, you love to see these ones. Ben Hunt smokes the ball into Big Nelson, the Storm number 8. Big Nelson's melon going for a 40-20. You love to see a Falcon. You love to see it. It wasn't as good as Billy's the other week. That was clean into the mush of Billy's. But this one was pretty good. Like, and Ben Hunt, he's known for smoking lads in the mush with a big kick. Old mate Dolphins a few years ago.
Jerry Marshall King, fuck it. He had to go for a HIA.
I think he's got a bit of CTE from that kick. That was absolutely smoked him, poor fella. But you do love to see a Falcon. And then, unfortunately, Cameron Munster doing Cameron Munster's shit. Like, yes, he is a Queenslander, so we love him for it. But He's got the purple colours on. He doesn't have the maroon ones on, so he can eat a dick. But yeah, also in that 33rd minute, Storm number 6, Cameron Munster decides to show Benny Hunt how to do a 40-20 properly and absolutely fucking nails it. It is damn near perfection for a 40-20. It is like a 40-2. Just, yeah, look, you give credit where credit is due. It was fucking unreal for a 40-20 from him. So,
100%.
yeah, good on him, whatever. Then in the 34th minute, sin bin for Dean Mariner for 3 repeat offsides, the ref calls. Paddy Carrigan gave that ref a good serve because of it, and I think rightly so too. So I'll get your boys' opinions on that one. But yeah, just good to see from the captain. I thought they're just like, nah, that's bullshit. He said, mate, they were doing it for 8 times down there. We didn't even get a warning, and then you've just sent him off for 3 when they did, so many more. But yeah, so I'll just get your boys' opinions on that. Did you think that was just? I'll start with you, Brito. Do you think that was the right call there, mate?
Love seeing Paddy Carrigan come up to the ref like that, and especially because you can hear it clear as day on the mic as well. But I thought it was, I didn't think we were doing too bad. I understood that we were giving away the offsides. I honestly thought we were hard done by. There's one there where you could definitely say, yeah, you're offside, weren't square at the marker, I think it was. But it was for pulling of the arm, I believe, like just a ruck infringement type scenario, and you can see Billy Walters blowing up at the touch judge for the call sort of thing. I actually he was blowing up that hard. I thought he was the one getting sent. The way that he sort of carried on with it, and he got told to jog on by the ref and whatnot. But mate, and Brandy, of course, halftime. Well, Paddy, they didn't have 8. They made like 4. No, Brandy, they made a bit more than 4, mate. Like, you're doing it right when Brandy, that's all he can whinge about when it comes to a Broncos game. So, yeah, diabolical stuff there. Dean in the bin. I was shitting bricks at this point as well. But the defense was going great.
Yep. Ringer, what were your thoughts on the sin bin, mate?
Yeah, I was right down Brito's route. I thought Billy was getting marched for dissent.
Yeah.
The lead up one, yes, there was one that you could say was definitely 6 again. The second one was like typical of most. When the bell goes, you go, don't really know what that's for, but obviously something was seen. And then Mariner comes up with his arm caught in amongst it. Like, it wasn't even a bad one. If he was laying in the tackle or if he pulled the ball out of something, maybe you could understand. But like, they were milking, we were milking. Like, it wasn't a bad one. And that's why Billy went fucking atomic at the touchy. And I thought, when the penalty got blown and he pointed at the bin, I thought, oh, Billy's gone for dissent. He said something awful to the touchy.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor old Dean's like, what? And off he goes. But yeah, love to see Paddy. Paddy was dead right, because up the other end, before we scored our first try, I'm pretty sure, or might have been, but Bronson Garlic was all over one of our blokes, and I thought, that's 10 minutes for sure. They've already had a warning, and they didn't go.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
it was pretty surprising, but unsurprising when you know that it's us and you know that we're the ones that usually get these. You don't want to sound like a salty Broncos fan, but I mean, to be honest, we're the most penalised fucking team in the league. So we've got a little bit of backup. We've got a little bit of data to get behind our whinging. So yeah, wasn't really happy with this. And like Brito said, shitting bricks now, thinking Melbourne don't miss when there's 12 on 13.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see how we go.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, the Storm with a fresh set of 6 on the Broncos' 10-metre line because of that sin bin. Amazing defence from the Broncos for just the whole set. That whole set was just great. Yeah, sees them drive Storm number 5, Xavier Coates, out the sideline on the 5th. Proper team effort. It wasn't, just one person like what Reece did a few tackles ago, a few minutes previous. It was a whole team effort. Arthurs was there, Staggs was there, all of those boys, and they were up and about once again, big huddle, congratulations. The hype was there. Everybody was, just buying into it. It was really good to see just the next level that the Broncos went to defensively, especially against a team like the Storm. So, yeah, no, you love to see it. You love to see it. Then in the 34th minute, we see our third interchange for the night. Payne Haas comes back on for Paddy Carrigan, who goes off. 8-minute rest for Payne. Like, the bloke's a fucking freak, eh? Like, just,
He probably
you know,
spent 5 of that on the bike.
100%, you know, like if I'd put in that work rate, like I'm done for the rest of the night, probably the weekend, you know, like I'm in an ice bath. I've got deep heat from, you know, head to toe afterward. That bloke, he does an 8-minute rest and then he's just like, right out, let's go again. So, mate, yeah, he's phenomenal, phenomenal. But anyway, we shall continue. Into the 36th minute, we see a penalty to the Broncos for a high shot on Brendan Piakura by Storm number 12, Ali Katoa. That helps the Broncos get out of their own end. Then in the 36th minute, still in the 36th minute, we see another penalty to the Broncos for a high shot on Ben Talty by Storm number 8, Big Nelson. Big Nelson, he gets shown the 10 fingers as well. He's off for a sin bin. And yeah, not great for him because, I mean, that's probably his 50th offence in a row for a high shot in his whole career. So yeah, he's looking at a 3 to 4 match ban. So that's probably him done for the season. But yeah, it does even us up to 12 on 12, obviously, with two, one each in the bin now, so that's good. Ben Talty, he goes off for a HIA, obviously. Anybody who gets smoked by Big Nelson in the mush is probably going off for a HIA, doesn't matter how big you are. So, yeah, we get a free interchange there. Jaden Hunt, he goes on for Ben Talty, who goes off. 18th man activation potential if Benny failed his HIA. He didn't, which was good. But yeah, so that was basically a free interchange. Then in the 38th minute, penalty to the Broncos for a high shot. So this time on Jaden Hunt by our Storm number 1, Ryan Pappenhausen. Broncos opt for the tap. And now, that was a great decision because in the 38th minute, we see a try to Brendan Piakura in the corner after none other than a cutout pass from Reece Walsh. You just, mate, Reece he's a confidence player. They all say it, but it's true. You know, like the game before, does a cutout pass, gets intercepted, old mate scores. 2-3 minutes later, he does a cutout pass and then puts Shibber over for a try. And then, yeah, this one again, beautiful cutout pass. And, yeah, puts Brendan over in the corner. Kick converted 12 to 4. Lads, how did you see that one? Ringer, I'll start with you, mate. How'd you see it?
Oh, golden. Absolutely love the call to go for the jugular 12 on 12 after all the defensive grit that we showed. I thought that if we could come up with a 6-pointer or a 4-pointer actually before half time, showing the tenacious way that we defended and getting rewards for it up the other end, I thought that would put us in really good stead, and it obviously did. But Reece again, you watch the replay and there's just a little finger flick down beside his hip when he goes into dummy half. You knew something was happening, whether he was going to jump out of dummy half and like grab it in behind, or there was something coming. But kudos to Brendan Piakura, a second rower who knew his job very well, hugging the paint, because the numbers were 3 on 3 on the short side. Like, it's not as if they were short. It was just Reece recognised that the winger, Will Warbrick, was in looking at the centre. So, yeah, it was just a great play. Absolutely great play. And, yeah, after all that's happened, the absolute wild 10 minutes has preceded this with 2 sin bins and fucking crazy shit that's going on, for us to go down the other end and get a try, fucking mint.
Yeah, best way to finish the half off for sure. Like Ringer said, like you could see it was on. Good that we took the tap, did a couple of set moves, sort of either way of the halfway, and then it sort of just opened up. Reece seen it, smashed onto it.
Yeah.
I'm calling a massive bad beat here because for those that follow our Thursday best bets, I took a Dean Mariner at $2.95. I looked at that and I was like, if we score, we're scoring surely through our back because our back five were on.
Yeah.
25. I was like, he was up against Warbrick, I think it was. Anyway, I was like, he's got to be there. Goes off for the sin bin. Brendan Piakura Johnny on the spot grabs a try for himself, and I'm sitting there going, "Fuck, that's the only time we're going to get that opportunity." But it was great to see good confidence from Reece, and it was good execution from Brendan.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So, yes, Thoroughbreds, that does bring up the halftime mark. It is 12-4 to the Broncos. A couple of little halftime sort of notes here. Reece Walsh on one tonight. And yeah, that's, that speaks for itself. Absolutely was. Storm uncharacteristically average with 30 tackles in the Broncos 20 meters with only 4 points. They had 6 errors and 16 out of 22 completions. If someone read out those stats and then said, rightio, guess the team, Storm wouldn't be your top 10 choice. That's for damn sure there. So, yeah, but I think because of that, it just shows the strong D that the Broncos were serving up. So, that's probably one of the big sort of ones there, just the defense that the Broncos were serving the Storm, for that whole 40 minutes. So, yeah, love to see that. Ref a bit whistle happy, blowing 12 penalties already. 12 penalties in a 40 minutes of football. The lad getting real acquainted with that whistle. Looks like Jerome Hughes is gone. Yep, we know that. He's gone for sure. Building for an exciting second half. But, lads, how did you see the first half? What were your thoughts? Britt, I'll start with you, mate. How did you see it?
Yeah, mate. Looking through the stats during the halftime, I was mighty impressed with a few things that we'd come off. We still didn't have the majority of the ball. It was still 55% by way of the Storm, but 95% completion rate, 22 out of 23 sets. Ridiculous sort of stuff, 89% tackle efficiency. And the other one that was huge as well, the fact that we were leading, average set distance for us was 28.4 and the Storm were at 36.5. The fact that we weren't cracking 30 meters in a set of 5 on average with Paddy Carrigan, Payne Haas, Corey Jensen was solid in this game. Even Ricky. Ricky had a great first half, hitting a few holes there and whatnot, but that's just how much the Storm was sort of keeping us down, I guess. Not letting us get a roll on as well, getting their line set. Their line speed was, you could put an argument in that we'd missed a couple of offside penalties here and there with their line speed. But no, that's how I seen it. I was very surprised that we were going into the halftime with the lead that we did have. And I was also, one thing I wanted to point out, love the energy from Madge. I feel like Madge has done, he's maybe he figured it out a bit too late, or maybe whatever's happened at Red Hill behind closed. We obviously went that period there where 8 rounds we'd had 1 win, and I think we had a bye in there as well, so that we got 4 points in 8 rounds. But now we're leading into this back end of the season. He's having a blow up in the sheds at halftime against the Cowboys, which we haven't seen all season. The energy that he had before the lads ran out in that first half was ridiculous. Like, he was pumped up, and you could see it relay into the players. They've all bought in. They all understand that they can do this. And they all understand that on their day, no one's going with them if they play the way that they're supposed to play. So great game plan from Madge, and great buy-in from the players. Proper excited.
Yeah. Well said, sir. Well said. Ringer, how did you see the first half, mate?
Yeah, very well said, Brito. I've got a few notes here that I started writing down watching the game, and then when the second half started, just completely fucking abandoned them because I was far too fucking up and about. But a few little notes here. Ryan Pappenhausen tested Jordan Ricky out about 5 times in that first half because I think the Thoroughbreds will remember when we played the Storm only a few weeks ago in Injury Gate. Pappy took on Ricky a couple of times and snuck through with a couple of lazy efforts. And I just put that note down because Ricky didn't fucking miss. He tightened up and smacked Pappy every time. Melbourne were crowding the ruck as they fucking do. And you got to expect that. And I thought we were very hard done by being the first ones to get fucking sent to the bin for ruck infringements. Like when you actually watch that game back and you go, how the fuck were we the ones that get sin bin for this when you know, it's like the ref had all this like backlog of memory of ruck infringements and just went, oh, fuck, I'm sending the next cut. You go. And that's what happened. Brendan Piakura stood the fuck up in that first half. He was in everything on that left edge. Didn't let anyone go near him. He was playing probably the form second row, and the comp in Eli Katoa was on his edge. And a couple of times he actually snuck past him. So Brendan was having a fucking great game. Defensive scramble is probably the overarching thing over this whole game that we need to really glaze, is that even when we were first down to 12 men, they weren't. If there was someone slipping off the tackle, there was someone else right there. And then we were jamming back onto our line and getting up fucking quick. There was no hesitating. There was no backpedaling. It was jamming up in their face and then winning the contact in a lot of occasions. Which, like Brito said, we lost the set meters because Melbourne had mainly the best field position. So we were coming out of our own end a fair bit of this game. But when we got the opportunities, we took them. So, so happy. And like, to be honest, and I hate saying this because it's such a fucking fence-sitting cop-out, but I mean, this first half was enough for me to be happy with. Like I was thinking, if we fall off a bit in the second half, we know that we can do this now to probably one of the best teams in the comp. We know that we can be a red-hot headache for anyone we play going forward for the rest of the season if we have this sort of scramble, if we have this sort of grit in our game. So I was so happy. I was so happy for that side of the game to come to us. And like Brito said, Madge has obviously lit that fire, like giving them that sort of underdog mentality to really step up.
I'll go against you a little bit there. We know that these lads can do this for one half, right? Like, and it is good. Like, it is okay. The boys turned up today in the first half. Yes, they played like we know that we didn't slack off. We didn't have a slow start.
Yeah.
If they drop off at the end, sure. But the fact that we can now do this or show that we can do this for near on 80 minutes, I mean, the completion rate shows that we can do it for 80 minutes. That's what we're all after, I think. Like, that's what Madge is after. That's what all the Thoroughbreds are after. And especially us here. Like, we know that these lads can do this shit. And if they can do it for 80 minutes, oh my God. But just on that, with the Piakura thing, him and Billy Walters put Jerome's injury down to those two. Billy Walters and Piakura were an absolute problem for Jerome Hughes in that first half. They sent Brendan at him nearly every set, tested the shit out of that shoulder. Just so happened that the wrist was the thing that let go, but it would have been interesting to see if the game kept going, if Jerome stayed out there, what would have happened towards the end. Because one game back after that shoulder, the way that Brendan was running at him, it was going to be a constant thing. So it was going to be very interesting to see how soft he'd made him by the time, the 50th minute had come around, sort of thing. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good little note there, Brito. I like that, mate. Right, our Thoroughbreds, let's keep going. So we'll get into the second half now. Storm kick off for the second half. Because Ben Talty, he passes his HIA, he obviously comes back. So he comes on. Jaden Hunt goes off. Then into the 41st minute, 40-20 from Reece Walsh. Now, mate, once again, beautiful kick from Reece. Love to see it. Good knowledge, saw that there was a gap there. There was an opportunity there. Took it with both hands. Absolutely nailed it. And just what a start to the second half, it's 12-4 in the sheds and then bang, does that. So you love to see it. Then also in that 41st minute, let's just keep glazing that fella again. Broncos spread it right. Reece beats two defenders and he goes over for the Broncos' third try of the night. It's the Reece show at the moment. Kick converted by Reece, 18-4. Lads, tell me about Reece. Ring up. We'll start with you, mate.
Mate, this is where the absolute fucking donut glazing begins, because Reece Walsh steps out in the first set of the second half on the fourth tackle and Bananas a fucking 40-20 kick to it was just, but it was just as enough. And then off the scrum, thank you very fucking much, palms off Cam Munster, who does not miss. Like he's a ridiculously strong lad that does this sort of shit to other people.
Yeah.
Breaks through, gives the old bloody toilet water celebration into the Suncorp, just absolutely heaving down on top of him. It was an absolute sight to behold, and anyone that is still a Reece hater is now in the very small fucking minority, because there's no way that you can't say that this kid isn't something special, because, yeah, he might have a few fucking fuck-ups in his game, but there is nearly zero other players in the game that can do this sort of shit. Kick your 40-20 and then beat one of the best sixes in the comp defensively, just by... there was nothing on, really. It wasn't as if they were scrambling, running back. He just got the ball, skipped outside, palm. It was all over. So, yeah, the Reece glazing was on, and how good was it to be on the winning side of points after the halftime break for a change?
Yep. No. Yeah. No, exactly right. I'm with you there. Bretto, you may continue the glazing, sir.
If there's room. I'll lean into a different way. The fact that he used the toilet water celly just
Yes,
after,
the
like,
celly.
mate, just lean into that shit. Like that was pretty good. But yeah, like, come straight out. Obviously, they would have had a good chat in the sheds, identified a few things or whatnot. But I don't think Madge would have been like, look, go out first set, hit a 40-20, and we'll get these clowns, sort of thing. Like, that's just vision from Reece. Gets it done. Gets the quick play the ball again, skips to the outside of Munster. I was actually shitting bricks here, because I was like, that's awakening a giant kind of shit. Like, we're still 12 on 12 here. Munster's just been embarrassed, basically, in front of everyone. Then Reece has hit the toilet water celly. The boys are up and about. Suncorp Stadium is fucking rioting. If you were late, imagine if you went for a piss at Suncorp and in the first half, and there's a line up, and you're like, oh, you're the last one. And then as you're coming back out of the toilets, Reece scored that. Jesus Christ, you would have fucking run for the hills wondering what's going on. But, yeah,
100%.
it was good. Good shit. Yeah, 18-4 straight after the break. Like, love it. I'm in the living room ready to run through a fucking wall. By the way, I've been bunny. The missus didn't want to come and watch the game with me because I was carrying on like a fucking idiot. But anyway.
Yeah. So, yes, Thoroughbreds, it is 18-4 after the 41st minute to the Broncos. You love to read about it. You love to see it. Then in the 44th minute, Dean Mariner, he comes back from his sin binning duties. Then in the 45th minute, penalty to the Storm for Corey Pakes being offside after chasing a Ben Hunt bomb. Storm lucky there, as Xavier Coates, he drops that bomb. And, yeah, Corey Jensen picks it up inside the Storm 10-metre line. So, yeah, basically, it's like the fifth tackle. Corey Pakes, he's doing his duties. He passes back to Benny Hunt and then doesn't run back onside before chasing the balls. So he's obviously already in front of Benny as he kicks it. So, yeah, that's what happened there. Also,
and Pakesy does everything right. He gives the defender 10 meters to catch the ball, so he's onside for all of everything. But it's just typical that the ball pops back to him, in this situation. And like, it could have went to any other Bronco, and then it would have been play on. But anyway, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, yes, also in that 45th minute, basically the 46th minute, it's 49 minutes and 59 seconds. Old Big Nelson, he returns from his sin bin and duties as well. Then in the 47th minute, drop ball from Jordan Ricky after Billy Walters makes a little break and then just sort of basketball passes back to Ricky, who drops it, unfortunately. So that's a Storm scrum feed on their 30-metre line. First tackle, and Billy Walters tries to do a one-on-one strip on number 2, Will Warbrick, but unfortunately drops the ball in the process. So that's another scrum for the Storm on their 30-metre line. I think he was probably I don't know. Like, obviously he strips it. Obviously it goes forward, but Warbrick, he was trying to pass in that sort of
Yeah.
contact moment, sort of thing. So, maybe if Billy didn't try to, strip it, then yeah, it could have been a knock on for the Storm, sort of thing. But it's good to see Walters, just identifying that that's an opportunity for him, and yeah, tries to take it. So yeah, good on him. Rightio, into the 49th minute, penalty to the Storm for obstructing the kick chase by Katoni Staggs on Xavier Coates. The lad, he's not letting Xavier Coates score, even if that means a penalty or a potential sin bin. So, yeah, he's not letting old mate score at all. So, yeah, good on Staggs for that defensive effort, we'll call it. But no,
Definitely.
in that set, old Ben Talty gets absolutely flattened by Big Nelson. And yeah, he ends up going off for his second HIA because of it. So 2 HIAs in one night for Ben Talty. So yeah, a bit rough. But yeah, so fresh set of for the Storm on the Broncos 10-meter line. In that 50th minute, because we obviously, Ben Talty, he goes off for his HIA. Paddy Carrigan replaces him. And also the Broncos do their 4th official interchange with Tyson Smoothie coming on for Corey Pakes, who goes off. Also in that 50th minute, the Storm do their 4th interchange as well. Then in the 51st minute, penalty to the Storm for Katoni Staggs being offside. Katoni just sort of rushes off the line. Like, they're in the Broncos, 10-meter lines at this point. So, yeah, Katoni just sort of rushes off the line to try to shut the play down and just, too quickly. Another fresh set for the Storm on the Broncos 10-meter line. Their set ends with Storm number 1, Ryan Pappenhausen, throwing the ball out the sideline. Just another great passage of defense from the Broncos. Like, they got 2 sets of 6 in the 10-meter lines, and they just, muscle their way through it, and then, forces someone like Ryan to make a play like that, where he just throw the ball out the back as like a Hail Mary sort of situation, and it just trickles over the sideline. So, chalk that up to just another example of strong D from the Broncos. Then in the 53rd minute, Big Nelson, he gets hit by the ball for a second time, but this time it's Tyson Smoothie. He was the kicker. Now, look, to be fair, the man is as big as a 2-story house. So,
A good target.
if he's anywhere near the ball, the odds are that he's going to get skinned by it. Like, I'm pretty sure he has to duck when he walks past airports so the plane doesn't, clip him as he's coming into land, sort of thing. So he's an absolute mountain of a man. So, but yeah, two ball hits in one game as well. So you don't really see that too often. Right, let's keep going. Into the 55th minute, the Broncos do their 5th interchange. Jaden Hunt comes on for Brendan Piakura, who goes off. And then the 58th minute, the Broncos do their 6th interchange. Corey Jensen comes on for Kobe Hetherington, who goes off. Then in the 59th minute, after a great period of back and forth from both teams, Ben Hunt knocks it on in a Cameron Munster tackle on the Broncos 30-meter line to give the Storm a great opportunity to try. And like, when that happened, Munster got up animated as fuck. You could see he was just trying to rouse the troops, like he was trying to just build something into the Storm, because they just didn't really have an answer to what the Broncos were throwing at him, in attack and in defense. So good to see it, but I probably shouldn't. There's probably the wrong opportunity to glaze it, because also in that 59th minute, we see a try to Storm number 2, Will Warbrick, in the corner. So yeah, Storm just spread it right, and Warbrick sort of just muscles past Billy Walters to score the Storm's second try. In that, Karapani and Walsh sort of collide to give Warbrick that, one-on-one opportunity with Walters. So, yeah, I know Reece wasn't overly happy with Karapani, but I thought Karapani was just trying to do his job, sort of thing, and just, you've got about a split second to see that Walsh was there to potentially cover him, and, I thought just Karapani was doing his job. So, yeah, whatever, read into that however you want. Kick not converted, 18-8. Lads, how did you see the Broncos' second try, Britta? I'll start with you, mate. How'd you see it?
Yeah, it was coming, wasn't it? Like, there was a bit of amping there from Munster. Storm were sort of starting to hit a few of their KPIs, if you want to call them that sort of thing. And in that instance, I looked at the replay. I think Karapani thought Wilbrick was going for the corner.
Yeah.
And so he was full on about to just muscle him out over the sideline, do his best that he could. And so he committed to that. And I think Reece got it wrong. You know, if he had a sort of shadow, either that or Reece thought that he was going to do the same. And so he was committing with Karapani at that same time. But I feel like Karapani did his job. If Reece had just held off to cover the inside, then it would have been Walters and Reece got taken on Warbrick 2-on-1. So, but it was a try that, you know, I wasn't overly shocked that it occurred, and I wasn't overly nervous either. I was like, you know, a bit of a lapse there. You could see what was going on in defense. We can tighten that up and we can move on, sort of things. Yeah, not overly concerned at this point.
Yeah.
Just real quick as well on that Nelson Tulty bit of an issue there. So both times Tulty's gone for a HIA, it's been by Nelson. Tulty has played for the Bears, Sydney Bears, so which is a feeder club for the Storm. So I would imagine he knows Big Nelson. So it is a bit of. I wonder if it was kind of like, righto, you know, you're finally in the big leagues with me. Let's have a go, sort of thing. And Nelson either got it wrong, or maybe there's history that's allegedly. Don't take anything to the press here, but maybe maybe Nelson and Tulty just don't see eye to eye, and that could be a potential about it. But I think with that 3-game ban or whatever it is that he's looking at, I think we've seen the last of Big Nelson in Storm colours. There is no way that I can see someone like a coach like Bellamy bringing him back on unless he absolutely kills it in the off season, because at the beginning of this season he got dropped because he wasn't fit enough. So unless he comes back and commits and shows Bellamy that he actually wants to have that jersey back, I don't think we see Nelson. I think we see Nelson run out in a Bears jersey, to be honest, is the next time that we'll see him. But anyway, that's my little thing. But yeah, great try by the Storm.
Yeah. Ringer, how do you see the Storm try, mate?
Yeah, you can't give Melbourne any sort of ball down your end. And with Benny Hunt dropping that one, I was giving Benny a serve, even though he'd done nothing wrong all game. But it's just a bad place to give Melbourne the ball. We all know that. And yeah, I'm with Brito a bit here. Reece got up, sort of doing a bit of what the fuck to Karapani, where I thought, well, Karapani was actually scrambling to get to the corner. It was up to everyone else to fall in line. Like, he's the winger, so he has to get to the sideline, doesn't he, as a defender, if that's where the play's going. And he was sort of doing that. Yeah, so Reece and Billy, if they would have held their meter in, probably stop him. So, yeah, it was a bit of a clusterfuck. I sort of rated it that we still had bodies there in the picture. You know what I mean? Like, it was still good to see that the boys were fucking scrambling. They were there. Like, we just tripped over it. We were that keen to get him out over the sideline again. We tripped over each other to fucking do it, which is that sort of mentality that I'll put up with 100 times out of 100. Like, so yeah, there's a lesson. Don't give great teams good field position. And yeah, like Brito said, it's just a little defensive thing that will surely tighten up coming into the end of the season. But yeah, I'm not unhappy with the scrambling effort that went into trying to stop that try. That's for true.
Yeah. No, good chat. So yes, Thoroughbreds. It is 18-8 after the 59th minute. Then into the 63rd minute, the Storm do their 5th interchange for the night. Then in the 64th minute, there's a knock-on in the tackle by Storm number 2, Will Warbrick, coming out of the Storm's end after a Benny Hunt bomb. So a little bit of redemption there from Benny Hunt. Broncos scrum feed on the Storm 10-metre line. Then also in that 64th minute, penalty to the Broncos for a high shot on Katoni Staggs by Storm number 6, Cameron Munster. Broncos opt for the 2, kick converted. It is now 20-8 to the Broncos, 64th minute. Oh, my Lord. Then also in that 64th minute, Ben Tulty, he comes back on because he has cleared his HIA for the second time tonight. Oh, good on the lad. Like, get smoked by Big Nelson twice, go off for 2 HIAs and pass both of them. So, yeah, good to see the big fella there.
He's obviously done the HIA a few times, and he knows the routine with the questions,
Yeah.
like what year is it? Where are you playing?
Yeah.
Just practice it before the game.
Yeah.
Coach said it was okay to bleed from the ears.
Yeah. Yeah, so Benny Tulty, he comes on for Payne Haas, who goes off in the 64th minute. 67th minute, after a grubber kick from Benny Hunt, Storm number 2, Will Warbrick is forced to knock it dead for a Storm dropout. Yeah, Dean Mariner, he was hot on that ball. He only just couldn't get there. And obviously, like Warbrick, he's got some wheels on him as well. So, he's no slouch for the speed. So, yeah, he just got there a touch quicker. Obviously, Dean had to cover more ground. But, yeah, good to see. Like, yeah, it was not far off another Broncos try. That's for damn sure. Then in the 68th minute, penalty to the Broncos for an incorrect restart after there was no ball in the bin for Pappy to do the dropout. So ref says that because Warbrick knocked it away, it's up to the Storm to get the ball, which they didn't. So when I first watched it, I was like, oh, that's bullshit. Like I didn't hear the ref, I was at the pub, but just like, you can just see Pappy like, there's no fucking ball. Like, what do you want me to do? Sort of thing. And in my mind, when I look at things like that, if it happened to the Broncos, if we're playing Panthers down in Panthers land, and that happened to Reynolds or Walsh or whoever, you'd be fucking furious, right? But then watching it back, I heard the ref say exactly what I just said. And then obviously they try to whinge about it. And then the ref turns around and goes, there's a ball right there. You could have grabbed that one. Fuck off, basically. Yeah, after watching the replay, my mind has, totally changed. So, yeah, Broncos opt for the 2, kick converted. It's 22-8. But yeah, lads, do you have anything to say on that one? A little bit sort of controversial, I guess some would say. Yeah, Ringer, you got something to say, mate?
Yeah. Oh, not really. Glad it was that. Glad it was them on the receiving end of it. To be fair, like
Yeah.
I think there probably should be a ball in that bucket at all times, and then if that should be just what it is. But it was not wrong what the ref said. There was a ball literally 5 meters that way from the bucket, just off camera, where they kicked it into the sponsorship banners and it bounced back. Like, it was gamesmanship on both sides that backfired on one of them. So, yeah, play on.
Yep.
Fuck the Storm in this
Brito?
situation.
Yeah. Brito, thoughts on it, mate?
Mate, if it was a 7 tackle set for the Storm, they'd be running to grab that ball.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So
Yeah.
I had no sympathy with it when I see Pappy stare. In the what's going on here? I was like, well, come on, mate. Like, seriously, you're that is like throwing the ball at dummy half into an opposing player laying down. Like that kind of shit. I was like, just get the ball. There's a shot clock. Get the ball. It's right there. Warbrick could have spun that thing from his wing if he had picked it up. It would have been in Puppy's hands in under a second. Play on, sort of thing. Like you fucked up. And Melbourne, I'm so glad that it did fuck up, because I get frustrated, and we probably do it, and I don't pick up on it or whatever. But Melbourne seem to be the team, to me, that does that gamesmanship so often. And they get away with it so often. So it was good for this time for me to be like, nah. And the ref just feeding it to him like, nah, mate, there's a ball over there. Fuck off. Give him 2 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the best part of it, the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yes, Thoroughbreds, it is 22-8 to the Broncos in the 68th minute. Rightio, let's keep going. Then into the 71st minute, we see a try to Storm number 4, Nick Meaney, after a line break by Storm number 14, Tyron Wishart. Wishart makes the break, passes to Puppy, who runs upfield, who passes to Meaney, who scores the Storm's 3rd try. Got a little note here. Good on Karapani for hunting down Puppy, forcing him to pass. I thought when, Puppy made that break, or, after he got the ball from Wishart, I thought Pappy was scoring, to be honest. And then, just sort of just got mowed down by Karapani. So I thought that was really good to see. And then, Pappy just had to do that sort of throw over the top, hoping that someone was there to get it. And, unfortunately, it was Meaney that grabbed it and scored the 3rd try. But, anyway, kick converted, 22-14. Lads, how'd you see that one? Brito, I'll start with you, mate. How'd you see it?
Yeah, I was meant to go back and have a look at actually who missed the tackle on Wishart, because I think it was Walters. But anyway, I was getting nervous at this point. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, here we go, sort of thing. Like they'll find a way to get back into this sort of. We were taking the 2 points when it was offer, which is fine by me, and I felt like it was doing good things because the Storm weren't. Normally, the Storm are happy to give away the penalty. We take the 2 points. That's fine because we're going to come at you in sixes. So you're going to have to score. You're going to have to kick so many penalty goals to make it worth it. But we weren't giving them the opportunity to come at us in sixes. It was frustrating them. So this was like a real massive pressure reliever for me, and I was getting a bit nervous. But yeah, anyway.
Ringer, how'd you see it, mate?
Yeah, very much in the same boat. Don't like to see them charging through the middle of us like we've been so good at all game. I think it was our boy Benny Talty might have been part of it in the middle there. I'll have to go and rewatch it, but there was someone in the middle anyway. But Tyron Wishart's a fiend for find a tie defender. Yeah, nervous, but I love the 8-point buffer after they kick the goal. Like 8 points is a lovely thing to be up when you're 68, 70 minutes into a game. So, because it's usually 4, and that's fucking shit.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So yes, it is 22-14 in the 71st minute. 72nd minute, the Storm do their 7th interchange of the night. Also in that 72nd minute, Broncos do their 7th interchange of the night. Our boy Payne Haas comes on for also our boy Ben Toltu, who goes off for probably a much deserved rest because the lad had a night. He went through it. He went through it that night. So yeah, good to see him get a rest. Into that 73rd minute, captain's challenge for a Melbourne knock-on by Storm number 14, Tyron Wishart, from a Ryan Pappenhausen pass. Replay shows the ball hitting Jaden Hunt in the hip and then bounces into Tyron Wishart. It's, you can't really see if it sort of grazes his arm as it goes out. So the challenge is inconclusive. So Melbourne retain their captain's challenge, but it's a Broncos scrum feed on the Storm 20-metre line. Another little stat here, 73rd minute, tackled in the opposition 20 metres. Melbourne 40, Broncos 22.
Yeah.
40-22. Once again, that just feeds into, how great the D was that the Broncos were serving up to the Storm. So, well done to you, Broncos. Then in the 74th minute, penalty to the Broncos for an illegal steal on Jaden Hunt by Storm number 9, Bronson Garlick. Broncos opt for the 2, kick converted. It is now 24-14 with 5 minutes to go. I'm sort of like, fuck, it's 10 points, but it's not 12. You know what I mean? Like you're still playing the Storm. So, there's 5 minutes to go, but you've seen them do it. Unfortunately, you've seen the Storm do that sort of shit. So, I wasn't, we're home here, like, let's go sort of thing. Let's celebrate early. Not at all. Anyway, let's keep going. Few more to go. 76th minute, penalty to the Broncos for an incorrect restart after the Storm number 1, Ryan Pappenhausen, tries the short kickoff and just fucks it up royally. I mean, he was trying to confuse, the Broncos defenders, and I think he just ended up confusing himself there. Yeah, tries to do obviously the short kickoff, tries to go right, and then at the last minute tries to kick it back left for himself to get. I think the ball goes about 3 meters forward and just absolutely fucks that up. So that sort of sums up the Storm's night. Then in the 77th minute, Jaden Hunt is absolutely smoked by Storm number 13, Friendly Arrow. Just fucking ironed out, eh? But Jaden just bounces up like, no dramas. But that was a fucking solid
That's
hit.
a ripper.
Absolutely smoked the lad. So, yeah. Also in that 77th minute, Broncos captain's challenge on an obstruction penalty. Challenge is unsuccessful as the replay shows Paddy Carrigan running into the chest of Cameron Munster rather than the left of him. That would have been Reece Walsh's 3rd try if that didn't happen. But I think everybody probably sort of knew that wasn't going to be a try. And then Paddy was like, there's 3 minutes to go. I've still got to challenge up my sleeve.
Yeah.
Let's have another bit of a breather, and I'll just
Yeah.
challenge it. Sort of that sort of looked like the vibes to me anyway. So, yeah, in that 79th minute, sorry, we'll keep going. Storm's captain's challenge for a high shot on Ryan Pappenhausen by Josiah Karapani. Challenge is successful as the replay shows Karapani's shoulder contacting Ryan's head as he fell into the tackle. Said at the start of all of this that Ryan just has that habit of falling into a tackle, and if you keep doing that, you're either going to get smoked around the mush or shoulders going to come into you or something like that. So they get the penalty, but unfortunately, Pappy, or fortunately for us, unfortunately for him, however you want to see it, he goes off for a HIA, which later on, obviously we've now come to know that he's failed that HIA as well. So he's not playing next week for the Storm either. So sucks to be you. Storm fresh set of 6 on the Broncos 10. It's 79 minutes and they can still fucking do it, which sucks, right? So that, I thought, all right, if we can just hold them out here, we can just drain the clock. Even if they score, there's not enough time for them to score again. Like that was my mentality sort of thing. So
except for the fucking commentators were saying like, oh yeah, if they score here, they can decline the conversion and go again. I'm like, shut the fuck up with the come on, guys. Let us 100%. Fucking win this. We're 10 up. There's 1 minute. Let us fucking be comfortable.
Yes, exactly right. But yes, all that worry and sort of fretting, no need. Because what fucking happens in the dying fucking seconds of the game, lads? Intercept by our boy, Billy Walters. You love to see him. You love to see it. Our boy. Last 13 seconds of the game on the Broncos' 15-metre line. Passes to Josiah Karapani, who runs 70 metres to score in the corner, seal the game for the Broncos. Beautiful vision and play from Billy Walters. Like that, the Storm were coming. They were coming hard. They knew that they had to score, and they were throwing everything at the Broncos defense. And then Billy just saw that opportunity, plucked the ball out of the sky. Knew he didn't have the legs to beat Will Warbrick, who was obviously going to be the chaser. Passes it to Josiah, and fucking the rest is history. Kick from the sideline by Reece, converted, no dramas, 30-14. Ladies and gentlemen, that is full time. Before I go into my full-time notes, lads, how did you see that try? What were your thoughts? So I'm at the pub, right? And I'm obviously heavy Broncos. I've had a few bit of liquid courage into me, so I am vocal, right? So that obviously happens. I'm obviously worried leading up to that pass. See the intercept, pass to Josiah. He's running down. So I am vocal about it all, right? Sheila comes in from the smoking area and goes, oh, geez. And then me, no filter, liquid courage in me, I instantly go, fuck you, bitch, right? Which instantly promotes the bartenders to come over and be like, we don't do that here. You need to shut that shit down, sort of thing. So, got a little bit heated there for a little bit, but I don't give a fuck. It was just amazing to see. So, I was all about it. But lads, how did you see that that try right at the death there? Brother, I'll start with you, mate. Talk to me.
The lucky Suncorp didn't have a roof on it because the fucking crowd erupted. And looking back on it, Billy read that from 3 passes away. Like he was waiting for them to throw that. Grabbed it, knew he wasn't going to make it, threw it off to the faster player, and off he went. Alex Glenn, a previous captain of the Broncos, is running down the sideline with his mic still in his hand, screaming the boys on and getting into the crowd. The whole crowd's giving it back, and beautiful scenes at Suncorp to finish off the regular season. It was just it was a great way to finish off that kind of win, where it was like, oh, they're coming, they're trying, Storm all the way to the death. Don't worry about it. Nail in the coffin. Off we go. It's going to be a bit of the walking wounded, the Storm versus the Bulldogs game next weekend. Luckily, the Storm do have that home ground advantage, but man, after watching the Bulldogs game over the weekend, they're going to have no Cherry. I don't know what's going on with Kickow. I think Montoya's out now. He's got a syndesmosis. Jesus, don't say that again.
Here we go.
Talk
about
anyway,
stroke.
and then Critter, I think Critter passed, but anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out and who goes through. But top 4 sealed, delivered, we move on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ringer, how do you see that try, mate?
I like how you say the Storm were coming hard. They weren't the only things
Hold up.
coming hard after that intercept. Like, hold up,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was finally the Broncos' time to have that elation. Like, it's funny, like, we've been such on the other side of these sort of moments for a long time now, like, since pretty much the grand final in 23. And then we get fucking topped out last year. We don't even play finals, which is a travesty. And then to have a moment like this that seals us into the top 4, that gives us 2 cracks, at least 1 game at home. Fucking incredible, mate. Absolutely. And Billy, absolutely love that Billy intercepted that. And his dead set first thought was, where's the speed?
Yeah.
I'm not running.
I'm
with
not
this
winning.
bitch. Like, I caught the fucking thing. That's my job done. It's up to one of you fuckers to take this up the other end. And Josiah was the man for the job, who done the right thing and dove from 8 meters out to slide over the line. Absolutely love it. Was so happy for those boys to get that result in that fashion, to really sort of reward them for the effort they put in this night. And I know the Storm was shit, and everyone's going to say how I was there, but Storm are never going to play like that again. We fucking made them play like shit. Like, look at these stats that we're going to get to soon. They had more ball. They had more good ball. They had better opportunities. Like, we kicked penalties. We did some Wayne Bennett shit this game. We kicked 2-pointers to just, because we weren't overplaying our hand, and it rewarded us in the end. Bid on it and play footy. Oh, I was so happy. So happy for the boys to get this result.
Yep, absolutely. So, yes, Thoroughbreds, that is full time. It is 30-14 to the Broncos. Love to see it. As the lads just said, Broncos top 4. It's what we've been looking for all season. So it's just really good to see it cemented in there now. Well, I mean, it was basically cement. I think the Sharks had to beat the Bulldogs by like 80 points or something for them to get the top 4, and that wasn't happening. Well, nearly happened, but didn't. So a couple of full-time sort of notes. Reece Walsh on another level. He played just fantastic this game. It was really good to see. Toilet water, the key to success. Because, I mean, that he's the only one drinking out of the fucking toilet. And, look at the game that he played. So,
I seen something real quick on it where someone imitated Buzz Rothfield, and they were doing like a NRL 360 back and forth about it, and it got to the end, and it's like Buzz is like, no, but what I'm saying is, don't say that to drink the toilet water, but Jerome Hughes didn't, and he got injured. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. A couple more little sort of full-time notes. Amazing defense by the Broncos to keep the Storm to only 14 points. We've said that a few times, and I think that's sort of one of the highlights that the Broncos players can really sort of be proud and pats on the back for, because their defense was just really, really good, I thought. Ref still whistle happy with 21 penalties blown. Britta, you said that at the start for the little, overview, but 21 penalties. I felt like just, every second sort of note in that game review was a penalty to someone. It was, ridiculous. But no, it sets up an exciting first week of the finals with the Broncos going up against the Raiders, just brimming with confidence after that one. Like, they've just really ended the regular season in the perfect sort of fashion, I think. Doing really well. Broncos 13 plus. You love to see it. I love to see it. Did I put a fucking bet on? I don't know how it happened. So, like, Thoroughbreds, normally I will put the upcoming games Broncos 13 plus on, as we record the episode on the Sunday nights. And like I said it in the last episode, you know, he asked me, and I said, you know, Broncos have a shorter odds at the Broncos 13 plus than what the Storm do for a Storm 13 plus. So that's all the information I need. And I didn't put it on. I don't know how I fucked that up, but yeah, there goes like a good $7 missing out of the kitty boys. Apologies for that one. I will try better next week. But yes, as always, bring on the fucking Raiders next week if they dare. Lads, how did you see the entirety of the game? Ringer, I'll start with you, mate. How'd you see it?
Mate, it's all the defence. Defence and effort are the things that stand out in this game. Well, three things: defence, effort, and Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh, I think he scored 22 points out of the 30, and then he set up the fucking try for the other one. So, you know, pretty incredible. But yeah, it was the scrambling defence. The Storm were rattled by how well we turned up. There's a period there where they were attacking our line, and Nelson, I think, had about 4 cracks at a crash play where we stopped him, and that doesn't happen. That does not happen usually. Usually, he either gets into the in goal somehow, right? So the boys did an absolute job, and you know the headaches that are going to come forward with, you know, what do you do with Renault? What do you do when they come back? Blah blah blah. I don't care. The boys know now that they can default back to this style of game and pump one of the competition heavyweights without doing anything flary. Relatively, you know, like Reece's try was great, the intercept was great, and even the Procura try, but it wasn't from extensive backline moves or chip and chases, or you know what I mean. It was take the opportunities when they come, but stop the other team from scoring points and frustrating them, and the rewards will come to you. So, so happy to see them win that way, and if only we got on the Bronx when they were $26 to win the comp only about 4 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, whenever it was. Like, I think they're back into like $2 something now, which is absurd. But I mean, you can see that there is a formula there where they could beat any team going forward. So, so happy for them. So happy for them, and can't wait for this. I'm sure we'll get into the game preview. An odd choice from the Raiders is all I'm going to say, to allow themselves to get fucking humped in the ass like they did this weekend. So we'll see how we go.
Yep. Brito, how'd you see the entirety of the game, mate?
Mate, 80 minutes of footy. What else can you say? Like we had a scrappy game against the Cowboys. You could argue two ways. It was either 80 minutes of footy from both teams against the Cowboys, or yes, we clocked off and allowed them to come back in or whatnot. And Madge gave him a serving because of what he's seen. But just the way that it's all built up, the way that the energy is flowing through them, the way that Madge is sort of getting into it. Even the Prescott, like, we dropped Shibba. We didn't even miss Shibba. Like, I thought it was I thought it was an odd choice to put Karapani. I think he was playing center with Dean in the wings. Like,
no, Dean was center, wasn't he?
Dean was center. Yeah. So whichever one it was, I was like, well, that's an odd choice. I actually would have thought like maybe Arthur's would have went into center or something like that. But anyway, we didn't even miss him. And that drove the culture. It's not like Shibba got dropped completely from the team. He was still training and whatnot. But and now they go back and they go, righto, what's ahead of us? We got the Canberra Raiders down in Canberra. Well, Madge will just be like, well, guys, you can fucking do it. And why not win a grand final? Like, that's what you can do. We're not waiting for next season now. Let's just go. Let's do it now. You're all firing. And we can move on from there. Like, Reece stole the show. Payne Haas did some Payne Haas shit, but I mean, it really was the Reece show. But everyone did their job. Like, we'll get into the stats. The amount of green that's in the error column is unbelievable. And with the 95% completion rate as well, or whatever it ended up being, just ridiculous stuff. And you can win any game if you put those two stats together against anyone and just
100%.
frustrate the shit out of them. So, and like Ringer said, the tries that we had, Pirakura, he was out of position, but it was a great heads-up play from Walsh. Walsh's first try was just a set play that came off. Then we had Walsh skinning Munster out of position. Great footy. It was nothing flary that we're used to our points coming from. It was all calculated. It was all just foreplay footy, and we run them down. So it was fucking great.
Yeah. No, I'm with you boys there. It was good to see. Like, yeah, especially coming into this game. Like, yeah, we obviously weren't favourites at all. Hughes coming back. There was a big sort of chat on that. Like I said, like Storm, they have tremendous odds on winning us. Like the head to head in previous, like out of 50, clashes, I think we had won 17 or something that you said last week, Bruno. Like, so, the odds weren't there for us to do what we did. So, to come out and just finally prove to themselves and to us as fans that, like they can put it together for the full 80 minutes. It was just good to see. And, like what a perfect time of the season to be able to showcase what they can do. So, mate, it is setting up for really good finals footy, which everybody will be, wrapping around, I'm sure.
So this series is going to be so fucking good. Panthers coming from the bottom four. Sharkies seem to have turned it on. I don't know if they've been one-hit wonders with that last game, but this is the first time, shout out the random stats guide, this is the first time that I think 3 of the top 4 have lost in the final round heading into the final series. And I think there's another random stat. 3 out of the 4 coaches in the first week will coach against their old team. So we got Fitzgibbon at the Sharks going up against the Roosters, not top 4 obviously, but Sharks so Fitzgibbon against the Roosters. We've got Madge against the Raiders. And there was another one, I think it was, it might be Silsarada or something going up against whoever. He's going up against the Storm. So interesting little stat there.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Anyway, we'll move on to man of the matches. I got to give a massive shout out. Josiah Karapani scored the final try, huge run meters and runs. Shout out again to Jordan Ricky, 35 tackles, 2 miss, 1 ineffective, 92.11% efficiency. Now, I put it out there. We always put out the nominate your player and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I think Haas got 1 vote. I think Stag's got 1 vote. Reece got a large amount of votes. Toilet water got more votes than Reece Walsh got. I was like, well, I was like, well, look, it's going to be Reece. Regardless of who I put him up against, it's going to be Reece. So I was like, for shits and giggles, we'll put toilet water and Reece. Toilet water beat out Reece again. So on the final poll, and by a fair margin too. So good on you. I think there was like 72 on Instagram alone that got involved in that voting and whatnot. So good shit. And it's good to see that the whole toilet water thing has just been taken, by taking the piss out of it, we're taking the piss out of the media for making it such a big thing.
Exactly.
And I truly believe that the Broncos putting out that statement was taking the piss. There's no reason for them to have to put that out.
No.
Anyway,
exactly.
Move on. So obviously Reece gets the Thoroughbred man of the match, 80 minutes, 22 points via 2 tries, 3 conversions and 4 penalty goals. 14 runs for 133 metres and 34 post contact, so that's an average of 9.5 and 2.4. 1 line break assist, 1 try assist, 5 tackle breaks. Big one, huge one if you're a Reece Walsh hater. 11 tackles, 0 miss, 0 ineffective, 100% tackling efficiency, including 1 monstrous hit on a 6 foot, 8 foot 2 Xavier Coates. That'll get him up and about in the morning, that's for sure. And it'll be A little bit nervous if you're the Raiders watching Reece Walsh absolutely fold one of the in-form wingers of the competition.
Yeah.
So good stuff. 7 kicks for 252 meters with an average of 36 meters a kick. That's pretty impressive. Normally it's around the low 30s, not the high 30s. So, and one error, which was a handling error. So again, one error weekend for Walsh. And look what happened. So he's really starting to tidy that up, which is good. My man of the match. I scoured through it because, like I said, Reece stole the show and everyone else just did their job. So it was pretty difficult to sort of do it. But the reason why I picked this person, and it's Brendan Piakura, is because he's coming back from an extended stint on the sideline. He had a job to do. He did it to perfection, to the point where the job that he had to do left the field. It was Jerome Hughes. You could say mission successful there, but he didn't stop once that was. He ended up scoring that try. So in 56 minutes, 4 points by one try, 10 runs for 78 meters, 29 post contact. So he's at 7.8 and 2.9 average. 1 line break, 6 tackle breaks, 1 offload, 16 tackles, 2 missed, 2 ineffective for 80%, 0 errors. Just came back, real solid game. Love to see it from the big fella, and hopefully he just gets better as we go through this final series. So, yeah, shout out to those players for their men of the matches. Onto the top stats here. Most tackles went to Pakesy on 36. Garlic ended up getting through 43. Most run meters, Karapani 213, Puppy 177. Line breaks, we had 3 players do 1 line break each. Coates had 2 of his own. Walsh on 22 points. Post-contact meters, Karapani again, 65. Toa, 82. Most runs was Karapani again on 17. Puppy had 20. Offloads, Huss had 6. Katoa had 3. And tackle breaks, we had 3 players make 5 tackle breaks, and then we had the Storm had 2 make 5. Getting into the stats here overall, we'll look at the back line. We got Walsh, Karapani, Staggs, Mariner, and Arthurs. Staggs relatively quiet in this one. He didn't break 100 meters, but so was Arthurs. So Staggs had 13 runs, Arthurs had 11. They're on that same side. Both of them didn't crack 100. So pretty quiet down that edge, really, from what we can see. If we scoot across to the errors, Walsh had that one with the handling error. Staggs had 3 penalties, and who's that? Mariner had 1 inside, and obviously he went to the bin there. Other than that, pretty clean through there for the back line. Ringer, anything stand out there for you, mate?
Other than Reece, that's one of the best stat sheets that you'd ever want to see, actually. 22 points in a 30-point game. Quite ridiculous. And the same thing, 1 error. 1 error Reece is the new catch cry. If we can get 1 error Reece, we win a comp. But yes, again, though, even though a couple of these backs didn't crack 100 meters, big numbers in kick returns and getting us out of trouble. Like 13 from Staggs, 11 each from Mariner and Arthurs, and 17 from Karapani. That's big, big numbers. Taking the heat off our middles, doing some shit work, and then also, being up the other end, being ready. Like, they didn't have to score any points for this game other than Josiah for a runaway try. But I mean, they did some dog shit work for us because we lost the total set meters by a considerable margin because we were so pinned down. But the reason that these blokes didn't drop the ball coming out of our own end. And that is a huge factor in us getting a win in this game because they did not give the Storm what they wanted, which was when they pinned us in a corner, they were hoping for an error from our back 5 and they didn't get it. So, kudos to them. Fucking excellent work, boys.
What about you, Langus, mate? Anyone stand out? I mean, it's pretty, I don't know. as good as the game it was, it's pretty boring when it comes to the stats for, if you're not Reece Walsh.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Like Reece is just that glowing stat on the back line, absolutely. But yeah, like 11 tackles made, 0 miss. Like that
Yeah.
that in itself is phenomenal work. The fact that he made 11 tackles, he does not normally break into the double digits at all,
Yeah.
and to get the goose egg on the missed tackles and the ineffective
Yeah.
tackles, mate, that is phenomenal there. But like, yeah, just to sort of back onto what the ringer was saying, 66 all run meters for the back five for 629. Sorry, 66 runs for 629 run meters for the back line as a collective. Normally, they're up around that 800 mark, and like this game, they're at the 629. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
definitely just by looking at those, you could tell that, yeah, they were coming out of their own end. They were putting in the hard yards, and like, yeah, that's why, your post contacts and whatnot aren't that great. And like, yeah, your set, your average set meters and whatnot weren't that high because, yeah,
Mm.
they were pinned down and they had to do some hard sort of work to get out of it. So, mate, kudos just to the back line for doing their jobs, and I guess to allow a person like Reece to do Reece shit. Like
Yeah.
it takes
Exactly.
a certain player to be able to do their job and then recognize that there is that talent within the team, but that talent needs, that space to spread their wings, so to speak. So yeah, good on them for just letting Reece be able to be Reece and still continue to do their jobs effectively. So yeah, kudos to the back line, mate.
Good shit. Good shit. We'll move on to the halves then. Oh, quick shout out to Stags. Like I said, he was quiet. He still topped the tackle count for the back line there with 16. He had 0 missed and 2 ineffective, 89% efficiency. Stag's still being a little bit aggressive. We just didn't need to unleash him in this game.
No.
It is going to be, we'll get to it in a bit, but it is going to be great watching him go up against the Raiders. I am salivating for that clash. All right, into the halves. We've got Walters, Hunt, Pakesy. Pakes got through 50 minutes in this game. The others got through 80. Walters topping the stats here by the looks of it, with the majority in the bronze that we've got going on. He had 6 runs, 60 meters with 16 post contact. He had a try assist, a tackle break, 2 offloads. Did miss 5 tackles though. That is something that we have noticed since he has taken over that 6. It is something that's obviously been identified, but I mean, if we keep covering our tackles like we are, he's slowing the bodies down. As far as I'm concerned, he had 1 error and the rest was a clean sheet. So pretty happy there. Langers, anything stand out for you in those sheets, mate? Stats,
Yeah,
sorry.
mate. Yeah, just like obviously I've said it in previous episodes, but yeah, finishing the season with Billy Walters as your 6 and Benny Hunt at 7 was not the plan for the Broncos by any stretch of the imagination. So
Very
it's
much
just
so.
really good that they've done their job and they've done it really well. Benny Hunt being able to steer the ship, you love to see it. It's really good that while Mam and Reynolds aren't in that team anymore, we haven't faltered, we haven't misstepped. We've just gone from strength to strength, really, like to the point where Reynolds can stay in the coach's box as far as I'm concerned, because I feel like bringing him back might upset the apple cart sort of thing, like don't fix what ain't broke sort of thing. Like look what happened with
Yeah.
the Bulldogs bringing fucking Galvin in. Fuck the whole
Yeah.
show basically. So, like yeah, let them boys do their jobs. Corey Pakes, obviously, his pill delivery was Corey Pakes worth. So, good to see that was still continuing. 36 tackles, 0 missed, 1 ineffective. Take that all day from the little fella, right? Like, so, yeah, mate, it's just good to see a lot of green sort of ticks in the back in the halves there. So, yeah, mate, can't fault any of it. It's good to see.
What about you, Ringer, mate? Anything there in the halves?
Yeah, Billy, the difference is absolutely killing it. You got to give him so much credit for starting the year at 14, and then in the last, few weeks playing 6 and not batting an eyelid, dead set. No, not one game have you gone, oh, Billy has been off. That's why we haven't played so well. So he's doing his job, mate. Exactly what we want him to do. And the absolute player that on no other podcast that I've heard anywhere near enough kudos for or praise is Corey Pakes, mate. There's a reason why this team is, doing what they're doing with no errors and whatnot, is because that service is so perfect. We see he's not a running hooker. He's an old school pill deliverer. He's not going to jump out a dummy half and, race upfield and, catch the markers off guard. He gets in and does his job, and then he'll make you 30 tackles. What is it? 36 tackles in 50 minutes. A minute a tackle every 1.4 fucking minutes or something ridiculous. Like, good on him. And it just goes to show that if you don't have to be flashy, you don't have to be a game breaker. If you are very good at your craft, you are very beneficial to a team. So, got to give him a shout out, mate. And Ben Hunt is obviously barking the right orders at this team to keep their heads on their shoulders. So, like Langer said, it is a headache having Renault back. I think you put him on either side of the field and you let Renault put his little right boot to magic. And that's about where he comes from. But Hunt is the one that has the dominant voice, in my opinion, which is a funny thing to say, but it's obviously working. It's working at the moment. The boys are listening. Dozer gets crank at you. They're not fucking up again. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes going forward.
And could we have uncovered that at the beginning of the season when we mentioned that last year Ben Hunt was the top try assist? So obviously he can see something that's going on when they're in attack, and he can put boys over. So maybe we missed a trick at the beginning of the season by not allowing Ben Hunt to do that role and just letting Adam take it. But in saying that, Adam is also a 300-plus gamer. He's been around. He's won a premiership before. He knows as well. So he would be on the sideline up at the coach's box looking at what's going on. Obviously, they're identifying it. So surely if he does come back in, we're not going to collapse back into what we were doing. It's going to be this new and improved sort of, now we've got 300 gamers on the field. Now we've got, really getting into there and really being held accountable and whatnot. So it's going to be very interesting, this Team List Tuesday. I thought the Team List Tuesday a couple of weeks ago was the most anticipated, but this one's sort of trumped it as well. So, and we all got to remember as well, Billy Walters only played 14 because Blake Moser got injured. He was in the he was only in the team by mistake, and he's grabbed it and gone with it. And then our boy Cuckchair Corey, and our boy Cuckchair Corey, like, he's still a bit of a cuck, really. I mean, he's safe, but he'll watch you do all the fancy stuff, but he'll set it all up for you. So it's really good to see. So really, really good to see. All right, onto the engine room. We've got Jensen, Haas, Piakura, Ricky, and Carrigan. Ricky did 80 minutes. Good to see. Jensen got through 44. Payne had 64 minutes. Piakura with 56, which I thought was pretty impressive coming back from what he was sidelined with. Carrigan was 65, so Haas and Carrigan doing the same sort of numbers there. Payne once again topping the runs, doing what Payne does. 6 offloads is fucking ridiculous. And then to top it off with 29 tackles, 1 missed, a rare 1 miss from the big fella, 97% there, but a lot of green. We've got Corey Jensen going green everywhere. We have Brendan Piakura green everywhere. And then the others sort of 1s and 2s here and there sort of thing. So Paddy, I know people have accused him of being quiet. 13 runs, 108 meters. Sure, not really Paddy numbers from the beginning of the season. But I feel like with the whole captaincy thing, he's sort of taken on a different role. Again, not being that link man because Reece is coming to the forefront now. To me, Paddy's still there. If we need him to go fucking Mercadoo, he will, but he doesn't need to. 36 tackles, 5 missed. 5 misses is a bit concerning, but it is what it is. Depends on who's running at you. It makes those 5 misses seem a little bit small. Langers, mate, engine room. What can you see?
Yeah, mate. Like obviously, Payne Haas. It's hard to go past that lad's stats every week. I'll happily glaze that boy every single time because the stats that he puts up are phenomenal. I will say, however, the 6 offloads, I did notice on a couple of occasions those offloads were unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there was 2 instances there where he offloaded to Tyson Smoothie, and Smoothie got just smoked basically behind where Payne offloaded it. Like he didn't need to offload those ones, and then sort of Smoothie sort of paid the price both times for it. So that's the apart from that, give me an hour and I'll spend 59.5 minutes glazing the lad. So you love to see it from big Payne. Hopefully he can stay at the Broncos forever. But no, it's good to see those stats. Like Corey Jensen played 44 minutes, still did 28 tackles. Take that all fucking day. Played nearly half a game and made 28 tackles. So love to see that. All the lads, getting busy with their work. Carrigan, with his 36. Mate, you can't really fault it, eh? Like engine room doing the engine room shit, which is exactly what we need when you have a player like Walsh. You need those big fellas just doing their jobs and, making the tackles, doing the hard runs and letting brilliance, come off the back of it, mate. So good to see, mate. Good to see.
What about you, Ringer, mate?
Yeah, mate. Love to see Paddy. Like it is quiet, but it's that sort of shit that needs to be done for you to win a game like this. 36 tackles in 65 minutes is fucking epic. Between him and Pakesy, one plays 50 minutes, one plays 65, and they made 72 tackles in the middle for a combined total of five misses and one ineffective. So I think, and then you bring on the hitman. You know what I mean? Like it's a great rotation we have at the moment between Paddy and Kobe. Payne is just Payne. Like, good luck if he's not playing finals football yet. Like, if he's been like going, oh yeah, I'll keep myself reserved until I get to the finals. Fucking look out, because I think that, and I dead set think there could be that gear change in Payne. I really do. I really think that there's a gear change in both Payne and Paddy. I don't think we've seen the best of them yet, which is a fucking scary proposition. Ricky, so happy with Jordan Ricky, mate. He is getting very close to my player of the year just because he is so epically consistent. He's out on that edge. He doesn't miss tackles. He'll drop a ball every now and then, and he'll fuck up a fucking certain try because he's pretty Ricky, not witty Ricky. But we've learned to live with that. But he is so consistent, and I love that from him. Brendan Piakura is going to be a goat. Corey Jensen's getting so much better. Yeah, love it, mate.
Good stuff. And segue into the Hitman, we'll move on to the super subs here. Tyson Smoothie, Kobe, Hitman, Hetherington, Ben Tolte, and Jaden Hunt. They all got through reasonable amount of work, hovering about that half an hour. Hetherington had 36 minutes. Look at the 30 tackles, 36 minutes, 30 tackles, 1 miss, 1 ineffective for 94%. A few of them, I can tell you now, the hit is waking up the next day going, oof, felt that. Ruck infringement error for the entire bench. Like, I know that you can afford, whoever, an error is a bad error. If you're giving away errors, it's not good. But for our bench to come on and give the front guys a breather and not do any errors is just going to be massive through this final series if they can keep it going. So happy days with that. Tyson Smoothie, he played a lot of lock this year in Q Cup. So for him to pivot and do a hooker role, we know he's originally a hooker, but to do that utility role really good. He's doing a really good job, and to the point where you don't really notice that he's on the field. He's just doing his
Exactly.
job, sort of thing. So, Ringer, I'll throw to you, mate. Anything in there in the super subs?
Well, the Hitman obviously is a standout, but I think what we've got to be really proud of as an organisation is that 3 of our 4 bench players would not be playing in it if we had, if we had our full complement, and we're winning essentially finals game, where there's not one player on that list that like, you tell me at the start of the year with hookers like Billy Walters, Corey Pakes, Blake Moser, that Tyson Smoothie would be playing like he is. Ben Tolte, no one even fucking knew he existed 10 weeks ago. And Jaden Hunt, after the bloody first trial game, I thought would have been fucking lucky to make the Winton Devils the way he played. So for this bench to be doing what they're doing only bolsters what we have going forward, because no matter what happens with who moves on, I know Tollison's moving. I don't know about any other movements, but I mean, let's look at next year, say, when you've got a Blake Willison, when you've got a Bentakura, when, Blake Moser. There is that much depth in this team, which we have been screaming out for years, going back to those old Broncos teams where next man up was as good as whoever was coming, was as good as whatever we were playing. So, really happy with how Madge has developed all these players and turned them into fucking guns that other teams have to be looking at. How did they miss Jaden Hunt and Ben Tolte and Tyson Smoothie at this stage, wouldn't they? Like, when they're looking at their rosters, when they see how they play, like Ben Tolte, 91% tackle efficiency. He was on for 28 minutes, made 20 tackles. And I know at least 3 of them were on Nelson Asafa Solomona when he was charging at the line, and he had to just fucking stand there and clob it, and he done it. Kid was probably thinking,
Yeah.
fuck, I should go back to reserve grade, not put up with this shit. But, the boys stood up there. Absolutely love it. Love it that the depth is it's starting to crystallize for us.
Yeah, it was something that we picked up in the beginning of the season in our first podcast for the year, that our depth in the middles, not the middles, sorry, the edges were going to be a
Edges,
problem
yeah.
if we had injuries and whatnot. But I mean, fuck, we've done a really good recruitment job in Ben Tolte.
Yeah.
Jaden Hunt's come a long way. Hetherington was supposed to be starting, but he's looks like he's settled back into that bench spot there, which is good.
Yeah.
And Smoothie is just getting some game time because of injuries, I guess. So, what about you, Langers, mate? Anything there? Anything stick
No,
out?
yeah, not too much after, everything I identified you lads have just basically said. But no, like I think Ringer said it last episode, it's good to see that as a Broncos supporter, you're not upset when Jaden Hunt comes on the field
Yeah.
anymore. You're happy to see him rather than, before you're just like, oh fuck, why is he even picked? You know what I mean? So like that's
Yeah.
good. You're obviously, for every run that you do, you're looking for your 10 run meters and your 3 post contact so you can sort of bend that line. Haas. He did 16 runs for 118. That's around like the 7.5 sort of thing. Tolte and Hunt both, 7 and 8, 67 and 78. That's around the 9.5. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Tolte, 7 runs, 24 post contact. There's your 3 that you're looking for. So, they're coming on and they're doing their fucking jobs and they're doing them well. So, for what you lads said, for an interchange that we did not expect those names to be on our interchange at this stage in the competition, doing their jobs to, create
Yep.
just a really big headache for Madge next year when, if he gets a full roster, everybody's fit, everyone's firing, who the fuck is going to make the 17? It's just basically put the names on a dartboard and just start throwing darts because, I mean, you got just as much sort of go there. So, no, it's really good to see. It's really good that you can have a backline that when our big boys come off, there isn't a massive hole that the interchange can't fill. You know what I mean? So, no,
Yep.
it's good, mate. It's good.
The other huge benefit for all this is that one day next year when we're playing a game, when after Origin, we're no doubt going to have a lot of people out for Origin. We have the benefit of having all of these players sitting there where we can go. We're not looking at dropping games by resting players. We're still going to climb the ladder because our reserve, our second tier players are not going to let us down. And it's such a good position for this club to be in because we know we get decimated with State of Origin every year.
Yeah, 100%. And it's also weird because normally when you get a new coach in, there is a bit of a roster clean out. I think Madge has found that when he's come in, he's had a look underneath the hood, if you would. He's actually liking what he's seeing there, and he can work with what he's got. So very minimum disturbance when it comes to the roster, which means less pissed off players that are already there.
Yeah.
Your friend gets dropped or moved on, or why is this going? Blah blah blah. So yeah, and you keep that tight knit community going and build that culture, which is good. All right, we'll quickly move on here. So we finished the regular season with 15 wins, 9 losses, 8 wins via way of 13 plus, 7 by 1 to 12. Langer's cashing in when he does actually put it on. 3 losses, 13 plus, 6 losses, 1 to 12, which is what you want to see. You want to see that more 1 to 12 losses than whatever. 172 in the for and against. We score 680 points, concede 508. In the first half, we're good for 108 points generally on average, and we're looking at 64 positive in the second half as well. Really turn that around. So it's good to see those sort of stats creeping in. And that is the end of that Glaze session. So if you're still with us, we'll move on to some other chat now. And that other chat is the Gronk. We'll start with him. He had to rush. He had the in-laws over today that distracted him. So he sent in his video a little bit late, but he had a very serious question that he sort of wanted to pose to us. So I'll get him up here and we can see what he wants to talk about.
Boys, what a fucking statement that was from the Broncos. I think the rest of the 8 are absolutely shitting themselves at the prospect of, or the thought of you actually producing 3 games like that in a row, because I don't think any of them will go with you. But the dynamic at the moment is absolutely fucking chef's kiss. Like, everyone's playing their role. Billy's playing his role perfectly. He's not overplaying his hand, nor is Hunty. And fucking, it's just working. Hunty's got a good lead on Reece and just lets it go and goes, create. And he does. He fucking does it. Incredible to watch. And hopefully it can continue. I don't think that Madge can afford to bring back Renault or Ezra for this final series. Thoughts?
See, serious question there. So we'll real quick, we'll just cap off. Ringer, in this Teamless Tuesday, if we do have a full squad available, no injuries, where does Mam and where does Renault sit for you?
Honestly, Mam doesn't play again this season. If someone misses out, it's Ezra. He come in, he had a couple of good games, but we don't need that at the moment. Continuity-wise, I don't think we need it. Renault deserves to have his chance to come back, is where I'd sit him. I'd play Hunty and Renault either side the ruck. I'd put Billy back at 14 to be the difference again. I think Cuckchair Corey does such a great job of softening up that middle for us that I don't think we fuck with that. The forwards are on the front foot. I think if there was a change, the only change I'd make was put Renault on one side, Hunty on the other, and Billy back to 14. I wouldn't change. I wouldn't bring Ezra back. There you go. For the rest of the season, I don't care how fit he is. I just don't think it's the right fit at the moment.
Huge. What about you, Langers, mate?
Oh, yeah, look, I reckon Mam and fucking Reynolds can just stay in the coach's box, eh? Like, it's that whole don't broke what, don't fix what ain't broken sort of mentality that I've got. Having the old heads at 6 and 7 is fucking enticing, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, Reynolds can play, but yeah, are you going to upset the apple cart by bringing them back? Reynolds will then become captain, so then Paddy has to, go back into his box. Benny Hunt has to take a step back as well. Then it becomes, Reynolds is running the show. Is that going to fuck things up? Like you got all of those sort of questions, and like what the Gronk just said, like the lads are firing, so why make a change? Like if I think that they should put the same team up against the Raiders. And if we aren't convincing against the Raiders, then maybe, give Reynolds like another week to heal up, I guess, and then just sort of see how the lads go and see how the team is sort of going as a team. And then, if there are chinks in the armor or whatever, and then yeah, maybe, if we lose or whatever, then or if we just scrape through, not convincingly against the Raiders, then yeah, maybe look at getting Reynolds back in the team. But I just feel like it might upset the apple cart too much, and then you're going to be kicking yourself while saying, we just did what the Bulldogs did. They were flying, and then they put Lockie Galvin in thinking he was going to be the next thing since sliced bread, and he just has done the opposite for him, basically. So I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't want to be in Madge's position because how do you not pick a player like Reynolds? Like I'm
Yeah.
with the ringer on sitting Mam out. I think he's, like he brings a different gameplay than what the rest of the Broncos as a team are bringing now. And like, yes, Mam can run with Walsh. He can hang with Walsh, sure, no question about it. But I think, yeah, just the way that the team as a whole team is going at the moment, Mam probably doesn't need to be coming back in at this stage of the game or of the season. But yeah, how do you not pick a player like Reynolds? Like,
Yeah.
that if we get the opportunity to kick for an extra 2 points, if Reynolds is
Exactly.
lining up, she's definitely more often than not going to be going over the black dot. So, fuck yeah, I don't know, but yeah, personally, I wouldn't upset the apple cart for this next game anyway. Have the Raiders game as a very good look at what the options are, and then yeah, go from there. What about you, Brett? What are your thoughts, mate?
Mate, I'm with you. I run out the same. Oh, bring Gamat back, obviously. Unfortunately, Arthurs
Yeah.
is going to have to make way there, but bring
Yeah,
him
no, I'm
back
with
for
you
the
there.
Raiders, and then because if we beat the Raiders, and I honestly, the 13 plus for me is juicy as shit when it comes to that. We get the chance then to have a week off, which gives Renault another chance to heal up, and we get all the other sort of niggles and everything taken out. But for me, Reynolds has to be in the starting 13 when it comes to the prelim final. To me, his kicking game's just too good. We can't leave him out. So for me, it'd be Hunt one side. Ezra unfortunately does sit out for the rest of the season, all bar injury or whatnot. Hunt on one side, Reynolds on the other. You throw Billy Walters back on the bench. You've got good service coming out with Corey Pakesy there. And you just run. I just know that Madge, they're too dumb. Sorry, that's a fucking wrong word. They're not dumb. They're going to sit there and be like, all right, this is working. Whatever we're doing is working. So just do that, but add another set of eyes that just so happens to be a 300 plus gamer, and just do your jobs and we'll win this thing. I reckon we run out the same one.
Yeah.
Go, mate.
No, that's exactly right, and I think it'd be you would hope as the club captain, Renault's been sitting in that box watching what's going on, thinking, I don't want to change what this dynamic is, but how can I complement it? Or and I know there's egos and whatnot, but if you were a 300 game player like he is. He's the club captain and he wants a premiership before he retires. Surely he's looking at this window going, all I have to do is add my kicking game and goal kicking. I don't have to overcall anything. Don't have to overplay my hand. I'm just Billy Walters with a better kicking game. You know what I mean? You would hope
Yeah.
and pray that
Yeah.
that is the mentality of Adam. And because that's all we need. If he was to come back in, that's all we need. Because what I'm terrified of, if they don't do it this week, and then we do win, and then they do it in a prelim where it's sudden death. That's where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have a crack at it this week because you've got a chance of it not working 100% and still winning, and then you still have a second chance, right? If you keep Renault on ice and then take him straight to a prelim, you don't get another fucking chop at that, and you're playing probably a Melbourne, probably a fucking Panthers or a Rooster, whoever that's
Panthers.
going to be gunning for you. Like there's no second chances there. So that's where I'd rather try it this week and see if it's complementary, because then you have a chance to adjust.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, moving on, injuries, suspension. This is where it gets a little bit juicy. We do have a Josiah Karapani looking at a monetary fine for his head high on Puppy, but he'll be free to play regardless. So got out of that game pretty well unscathed, which is good. Hayes, Perham, obviously ACL, gone for the season. Ben Decora, foot, could be this week. I don't know how much we fuck with this apple cart, as Langers has been saying with Big Benny, who, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what goes on. Xavier Willison, he's looking at week 2 of the finals, so he could be very well available for the prelim if we make it that far, when we make it that far.
Yeah.
That is someone that I will bring in, 100%. I will upset
the apple cart for Willison. 100%
Yeah.
you would.
Jaden Hunt would make way for an Xavier, 100%.
Yeah.
Then we got Renault. Yeah, there was images of Mam, Cobbo, and Reynolds sprinting at training during the week. So it's going to be very interesting what's happened. Obviously, Jack Goz is out for the season with his collarbone surgery that he had. But other than that, no one new to this list, which is really good. So we'll move on from there. When we get to the upcoming game preview, we have, and now I've done all the stats basically off of finals games. We're not looking at regular. Everyone knows finals, every team goes up a gear, and it's those that can go up that gear that sort of that live through to the end. So Canberra Raiders versus the Brisbane Broncos, Sunday, 3:30 p.m. at GIO Stadium. I think Langers is agreeing with me here, Canberra have absolutely shot themselves in the fucking foot here by not taking a Saturday night game in Canberra, because they want to have more of a turnaround when they didn't play all of their players. Who are you doing the turnaround for? You had 10 different players playing on your run-on today that got flogged. So who's the turnaround for? Why not take the Brisbane Broncos down to a cold Canberra night and bring them down to your level and bang them from there? Instead, you're going to play us in the middle of the day. The sun's going to be out. It's going to be the best temperature that it could possibly be. And now we nearly have a fortnight turnaround to get ready for this game. Like, our recovery was Friday, and then we still got 7 days to go. We've had a day off in between then and when we've got a 7-day period to be coming in for. Yeah, I don't think that was a very smart choice. Anyway, the last time we faced the Raiders in a final series, we have to go back to 1995. We've played them 3 times. Unfortunately, we have the losing record here. They've won 2, we've won 1. We faced them last at Suncorp Stadium. The halftime score was 6-7 to the Raiders, and the full-time score was 8-14 to the Raiders. So interesting times back in those days.
They did 2 field goals that game.
Yeah, I didn't go back and check whether they changed the points for it or something like that. So that was it was a bit of a weird setup there, but it will be first versus fourth. Wins this season, the Raiders have had 19 for 79%. We've had 15 for 63. Now, we'll get to the odds here. The Raiders are currently $3.75 to take out the premiership. We are $5.50, which is in from $10 again. So we have been coming in weekly. Interesting enough,
Not
and
the
the
only thing that's
Thoroughbreds
coming.
will, well, I don't think the Thoroughbreds will jump on this shit. So $1.62 is what Raiders were when I put this up. $2.31, right, is what we are. That's pretty good. 13 plus, $3.20. Actually, I might just check the odds on this again because I feel like it would have changed after everything changed. So
$3.30 and $5.25. Yep, yeah.
there you go. So the Raiders have actually come back out. So they're $1.67. We've come into $2.21. They've got the total points. That was at 48.5. They've brought it into 44.5. So that's a bit of a strange one as well. Raiders 1 to 12, $2.90, 13 plus $3.30. Brisbane Broncos 1 to 12, $3.30. Brisbane Broncos 13 plus $5.25. I think if it goes the way that I think it will go, which will be we will come out and smash their front door in and then run them ragged around on the edges, 13 plus is a real possibility here. And like I said, I don't think the mass resting from Ricky was a smart thing to do. I know we wrote them all off at the beginning of the season saying they're going to win the spoon. Now they've got the minor premiership, all that. Yeah, I don't know. Getting 62 points put on you in the last round, just, yeah, don't feel like it was the best lead up for them. So the last time we met them, it was 32 to 22, 6 tries to 4. It was down at GIO Stadium, round 2 of this year. Their last games have been Dolphins loss, obviously, Tigers win, Panthers win. They had a bye. Manly win before the bye. We've had Storm, Cowboys, Knights, Dolphins, all W's, and then we had that Storm loss where we lost our halfbacks. But, yeah, I don't know. That's it for the review. Langers, tell me how you think the game's going to go, mate, and we'll move on to some tipping.
$5.25 for a Broncos 13 plus. That is
Fuck.
like, oh, yeah. You pay off your mortgage with that shit, like, yeah. So
Responsibly.
bet responsibly, of course, like no silly bets. But no, I find those odds outlandish, to be honest. Yeah, I thought it'd be a lot closer than that, especially after, the performance that the Broncos put on against the Storm. I thought that would have even maybe propelled them into being favourites. I know obviously the home ground, and you can't knock the Raiders. Like, they've played phenomenally all year. Yeah, $5.25 for a Broncos 13 plus. That is way too juicy to pass up. But even if it's not a 13 plus, I really think that the Broncos can do them. If they play like they did Thursday night against them on Sunday, I don't think the Raiders will have an answer to them. So, yeah, mate, I'm definitely going to Broncos W for sure.
That's the show. Rio, mate, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm with you a little bit on this whole resting situation. Like, if they got the choices to picking what their game was, why wouldn't they pick a Friday night? Give us the shortest turnaround possible. They've already rested more than half of their squad. It fucking blows me away that they would give us almost the perfect amount of time. So we get to celebrate the win and then have extra time to get ready. Oh yeah, I don't know. It's wild. It's fucking wild. But I'm glad they picked it because rugby league is the winner for Broncos Raiders 3:30 finals game. Honestly, that's going to be a fucking ripper. I don't know. Like, I'm going to have a bet on the 13 plus, but I am going to be a bit more reserved in my predictions. I think this is going to be a slog, but I think it's going to be a shootout slog, if you know what I mean, where it's going to be bashing each other, try. Other team fucking stands up, bashes, try. So I reckon 44.5 overs is the best bet of the fucking year, but I think it's going to be within 6 points margin for us to win this. So, but with with the grit and determination we've already shown, fucking incredible, mate. So I think we should be, if not equal money, we should be favourites, to be fair, considering that we've only played them once and we played like shit and they beat us in a shootout that time too. So, yeah, excited, mate. I think it's going to be easily probably the game of the season. So, got something to look forward to for sure.
%. No, it'll be very interesting. In anyone wondering, over 44.5 points, either team to win by 4 or less is paying $7 neat at the moment, which is not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. All right, we'll move on to tipping and accountability with the Super Coach. Shout out, massive inaugural winner of the Penalty Broncos tipping competition, Dan R. Congratulations, mate. You take it out. Looked like, Langers was doing his best there. Doing his best so much so that he went the storm in the tipping comp. You want to explain yourself there, mate, or what?
Ew. Look, I fucked up, Thoroughbreds. Like, let's be real here. But no, so I was coming second. So, Brito, you're third, and you were coming second by. Well, I was coming second by 9 points. I was 9 points clear of you. So it was the last round. I had to do something to try to catch Dan. So I threw all the roughies, basically the opposite of who I thought was going to win, except the Storm. I really did think that the Storm were going to win. As much as it pains me to say it, I really did think the Storm were going to win. So that's why I did it. I was hoping that Dan was going to pick heart, not head. And I went head and not heart. And look, always tip with your heart, Thoroughbreds. This is what happens. And then I thought, that's all right. Like I'll tick, the rest of the Smokies. So I tipped the fucking Waz, and they got beaten in, with the field goal, even though they scored the fastest try in history to kick off the game. Then I went Sharks, and then a few people still went the Sharks. Then I went the Dollies, thinking, everybody's going to go the Raiders. Everybody went the Dollies. And then, obviously you can't pick the fucking Knights. So, you're going to pick the Eels there. Tried to catch Dan, didn't fucking work. Is what it is, but that's what you get. That's what you get. I'm just lucky, even though I deserved it, that, if I was to come second, it would have been because of I tipped the Storm and not the Broncos. So it's what I deserve for not tipping the Broncos, but luckily it didn't happen. So, take the silver lining when you can.
You deserve that second spot, mate. You did well all season. Dan finished on 141 points, 5.2 average per round, which is pretty incredible. Obviously, it's the highest out of the whole comp. The season margin was 330, which was only bested by one other player, Kate 1812 on 329. So good stuff there. Slippery Gypsy, aka Langers, finishes on second. Fletcher's Uber, aka myself, on third. Ringer on 127 in fourth. Annie Frogs, which is the office tipper that is my mother, finishes on fifth, just ahead of the Gronk on sixth. So pretty solid hit out for the panel here in amongst our own tipping comp. Well represented at the front, but just great to see a Thoroughbred take us to the ringer. I mean, 141 points. You were closest with 136, and then me way back on 128. So good stuff there, Dan R. We'll reach out to you, mate. I know exactly who you are. I know that you listen to us every week. I'll reach out to you with your prize pack. And like I said, I'm coming down to Brizzy, so I might be able to hand deliver that one straight to your desk. As for the week that was, Annie Frog's obviously 5 from 8, takes the Joker on the last round, has a 4 margin, so she takes out the week. Ringer, you scored 7 from 8 with a 12 margin, just beating me, who scored 7 from 8 with a 14 margin. So well done there. Gronk
Very
got
close.
5 out of 8. Gronk was a bit weird, actually. It said when you view his tips, he backed the Broncos and then he missed the next 4 games, but then he picked up the
Wow.
last 3. So I don't know what happened there with the Gronk, but interesting times. And then Langers maybe obviously got 6 out of 8 with a 17 margin. So good stuff. Good way to win, round that out. On to the Supercoach comp now, and I will be keeping an eye on what this lad is doing. BJ's Battlers
boy.
takes out the week with a 1,703 point weekend. Huge. Last
Fucking
count,
wild.
overall rank was 309. So it will be interesting to see how much closer to the top end he can get once it's all said and done. We won't be running a league comp through the finals, mainly on behalf of the fact that that kind of got thrown at us late and we haven't really set anything up. But we will do that next year for sure. Second, Gronk left his run solid as always, 1,625 for second for the weekend. The elusive G-Spot makes its appearance. Very elusive. Makes it onto the third place there for the final week, 1,530 for third. Ringer, mate, you when it managed 1,427. You had a solid finish to the year with 0 trades and whatnot. So maybe we should just fucking take your app away from you from round 1 or what?
Yeah, I've got a new rule coming into next year which is the same rule I've had for the last 3 years. Don't make any fucking trades in the first 5 rounds, you idiot. So you've got someone to end of the year. But this year it's actually helped me because I was about 40,000 overall before I lost all my trades, and now I think I've snuck into the top 30,000. So fuck it, let the winds take me.
I scored 1,299. I've had the best year that I've ever had on Supercoach when it comes to points, and I have finished the worst that I have ever had. So make of that of what you will. I think, what am I sitting at? I'm going to be lucky to be inside the 40,000 after this weekend, I reckon. Slippery Gypsy, 927 there, mate. Look, that'd be an awesome weekend last year.
Yeah, look, I didn't even feel the full team. I had no trades, and half of my team were Cowboys, and then I had like Tom Starling, he didn't play. Wade Egan, he didn't play. Braden Trindle, he didn't fucking play. So it's just like fuck. Fucking whatever, eh? Just let it ride. I'm actually happy I got 900 because I was thinking she would have been about a 500 weekend for me. I had Bronson Cherry as well. What did he score? Fucking 4. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
you
so-
actually did really well.
Mate,
shit, yeah.
The fact that I
Let's
got
flip-
927, I'm happy with that.
Oh shit, good stuff. Anyway, I think it goes without saying, BJ's Battlers, Blair, mate, you have taken out the inaugural Penalty Broncos Supercoach comp, so we will
Yes, sir.
try and reach out. I actually have no idea how we're going to do that. So, Blair, maybe you should reach out to us, direct message us there on any of the social media. Or hit the email that'll be in the description. Send us a message there, and we'll get your package out to you as well. Otherwise, we'll do our best to try and get in contact with you any way that we can. I've got a pretty good missus when it comes to sleuthing shit, so maybe I'll just give her your first name and she'll find you, geolocate sort of shit.
Yeah. Tag your ass.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we'll move on from that. We're still going to run best bets through the finals, so I'm not giving up hope that we can jag one of these fucking things before the end of the season. But we have another one-leg fail, and that was my Dean Mariner taking the bait of the sports bet. Got me hook, line, and sinker with those odds. So I just couldn't look away. The best bet was going to a Eels v Knights game and just loading up on any fucking Eels player. But anyway, Tommy Jenkins for the Gronk hit, the Milky Bar Kid. Same game, Ringer. You got Casey McLean over as well. Langers, mate. Oh, I mean, I would call you soft, but you're pulling in the money. Tamika Upton was, probably
easy money, mate.
the easy. It's called best bet, not easy bet. But yeah, we'll
Hey,
we'll look-
best bet is that easy bet. The best bet is the green fucking tip, my boy.
I'm speaking from a true degenerate fucking vision here, but but no, it is good. It is good. Unfortunately, it was me who let the team down for this one, but we'll go again next week. Road to 1 million, 7 out of 15 legs. That could have very well changed because we were waiting on a one Miss Kennedy Charrington from the Eels who was just finished. X. Don't worry about that. Forget what I said. We'll go again next week. It'll be all right. I think that's us for the week. Get fucking excited for this Canberra game. It's going to be a Sunday. Langers and I will be there Sunday night. Ringer, you are out and about traveling. So you'll miss that one, but hopefully you'll be there in spirit. Send us a voicemail or a video and we'll get you on, mate. Get your thoughts about it all. But yeah, we'll see you next Sunday because we're one of the lucky 8 teams that gets to keep playing through these final series. So
yeah,
that's us from us, Thoroughbreds. Send us your thoughts on the game. What do you like? What are your opinions? Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? If you're listening, you found us, please share us with your mates. Let us know. Subscribe. Make sure you get all the updates and whatnot. Head over to the socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Next year, we'll be on X as well. We're going to branch out to that just for a few little things that we can do. A like and our post costs you guys nothing, so please just hand them out wherever you can. A comment gives us motivation, gets us engagement as well. The community like talking to one another. They also like throwing a bit of shit at the other podcasts and whatnot that creep into our messages, so it's really good to see. Sharing our content introduces the page to others, and it's the best way to spread the word, so please keep doing that. Bet responsibly, bet for fun and not for the rent. Be a contributor to society. Stay out of one another unless it's consensual. We'll gallop off into the week. Catch us later.
thanks, Thoroughbreds.
See you in the finals, Thoroughbreds.